Chapter 564. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao went to meditate and cultivate. Knight Sorrow also began to meditate and cultivate, improving his bloodline power and soul power in all aspects. The soul extinguishing slash easily killed Grey Gull, which let Knight Sorrow know the power of the soul extinguishing slash. The power of the soul extinguishing slash would also increase as his soul power improved. Knight Sorrow also understood that the soul extinguishing slash was not invincible. If the opponent's soul power was strong, then the soul power could resist the soul extinguishing slash. In front of the camp of the Realm Sea, after Taishu Yen introduced Bei Tiangu to everyone, the venerables of the eastern and northern Shen domains were in high spirits, especially the venerables of the northern Shen domain. They all knew Bei Tianji's fame as the Northern Sky Sword Venerable. He was a true invincible venerable who had killed many venerables. The momentum is not bad. There is no oppressive aura before a big battle. It is rare to see such a high fighting spirit. Bei Tiangu said after arriving at Taishu Yan's tent. Because of our confidence, we fought with the Qingtian region twice and gained the upper hand. The first time was in the battlefield of the Eastern Shen region, where Lord Wu Kei killed many venerables. A few days ago we killed them again. We suffered some losses, but the Qingtian region's losses were heavier. Taishu Yan said. The Eastern Shen region and Tianji Tower are indeed powerful. Lord Wu Kei used to be an invincible venerable. Now that she has entered the Saint Realm, she is even more amazing. Even the veteran saints can't compete with her. Therefore, it is very difficult for the Qingtian region to achieve anything. Bei Tiangu said. The Qingtian region has always been arrogant. They have always regarded themselves as the overlord of the 9 domains. That is because they have not provoked any ruthless people. This time they have provoked Lord Wu Kei and the Eastern Shen region. Consider them unlucky. Taishu Yen said. The Eastern Shen region's momentum is extraordinary. However, our Northern Sea region is also eating fat meat under the leadership of City Lord Taishu. Bei Tiangu said. Why do I feel awkward listening to your words? Did I, Taishu Yen, let your Bei Tian clan eat bones? Or did I make your Bei Tian clan angry? Taishu Yen looked at Bei Tiangu with dissatisfaction. I'm not joking. I'm being serious. This is an era of chaos. If we make the right choice, our Northern Sea region will rise to power. The rise of the Eastern Shen region will be unstoppable. That young man today is indeed powerful. He will be extraordinary in the future. At the very least, he will be an invincible venerable. Bei Tiangu said. Hearing about it and actually experiencing it was completely different. Today, Bei Tiangu had experienced how heaven-defying Knight Sorrow was. He's from the Eastern Shen region, and he's also a Tianji Tower's celestial extremity envoy. He's only 20 years old and he doesn't lack resources. The Eastern Shen region and Tianji Tower will do their best to nurture him, so it's certain that he'll rise quickly. How many years would it take for a very young invincible warrior to travel unhindered? This period of time is the time for the Eastern Shen region and Tianji Tower to develop, Taishu Yen said. So it's right for City Lord to ally with the Eastern Shen region. It's mainly because of the relationship with the Tianji Tower. City Lord, your position as the deputy chief of Tianji Tower is not fake, Bei Tiangu said. I believe in Lord Wu Quebec. The Eastern Shen region is different from the Qingtian region. The Qingtian region is too shameless, so we have to beat them, Taishu Yen said as she brewed a pot of tea. Knight Sorrow stabilized his cultivation base for a few days. After his true Qi cultivation base was completely stabilized, he went all out to improve his cultivation base at full speed. It's really strange that there's no movement from the Qingtian region, Wu Lingfei said after another cultivation session. They're shameless but they're not stupid. They must know that Bei Tiangu is coming so they won't attack if they're not sure, Lin Yuandao said. Then we'll wait. If they don't come, we'll cultivate. The longer we delay, the better it will be for us, Wu Lingfei said. For Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao, time meant cultivation base. Lin Yuandao was the chief of Tianji Tower, so he didn't lack resources. Wu Lingfei's resources were even more abundant, and the Crystal of Life was the most suitable cultivation resource for her. The Crystal of Life was transformed from the cultivation of the fallen life saintess in the death space. Under the premise of the same attribute, Wu Lingfei's cultivation was twice the result with half the effort. It could be said that she could quickly improve her cultivation base by absorbing and refining the energy of the Crystal of Life. In addition, Guoxiao took the fire attribute Origin Stone to cultivate. If there was enough time, there would be a chance for a saint to appear in the Tianji Tower. Even if they didn't break through, they would be at least a half-step saint, which would crush the venerables of the Qingtian region. Let's eat. Night Sorrow shouted to Lin Yuandao and Wu Lingfei. Today Night Sorrow was roasting the gazelles caught by Tianyu. With the intention of cultivating here for a long time, Night Sorrow released Tianyu and Silver Fox from the beast taming space. This way the two beasts would grow faster. Night Sorrow, you're good at everything. You're also first class at roasting prey, Lin Yuandao said. I used to be the best hunter in our village. Sometimes I had to hunt for several days to solve the problem of food and clothing. That's how I developed my skills, Night Sorrow said as he cut the roast meat. The best hunter? You were still very young at that time. Lin Yuandao took the roast meat that Night Sorrow handed over and asked. I started hunting with the villagers when I was 13 years old. When I was 15 years old, I got the most prey every time I went hunting. That was also the year I came out of the mountains and entered the Medicine Valley. Night Sorrow was a little emotional. After a few years, everything had changed. The villagers of Xuanhuan village no longer had to worry about being eaten by beasts. They all lived a good life. A few years. These few years are really extraordinary, Lin Yuandao said as he drank and ate the roast meat. After eating, Night Sorrow played with Tianyu and Silver Fox for a while. Then he continued to cultivate his spear art and his realm. Junior Sister Wu, do you think this guy doesn't know what fatigue is? Isn't he bored? Lin Yuandao asked as he looked at Night Sorrow who was cultivating. Only genuine N, all other N equals yes asterisk 2 pirated version square root V. Look at his expression. He is completely enjoying himself. He treats cultivation as a form of enjoyment. How can he feel tired and bored? Wu Lingfei was also very impressed with Night Sorrow's state. After cultivating his spear art for a while, Night Sorrow returned to his tent and started cultivating with the black tortoise spirit crystal. The spacetime pagoda could help Night Sorrow cultivate his soul power, true chi cultivation and bloodline power. However, it couldn't help with the cultivation of the myriad Dao tome. Therefore, Night Sorrow had to use the black tortoise spirit crystal. At this time, many people were sitting in the command tent of the Qingtian region's Donghua city camp. There were people from the Qingtian region's city lord mansion, people from the major clans of the Qingtian region, and people from the other subordinate forces of the Sanyuan region and the Weiming region. City Lord, the Xikong clan's response is that the clan master and venerable Lu Yun are in seclusion and can't participate in this region war at the moment, a venerable in a gray robe said to Jiu Fenglan, who looked very upset. This is an excuse. What does the Xikong clan want to do? Are they not willing to contribute to the Qingtian region? Jiu Fenglan, who was sitting in the main seat, slammed the table and growled. Give them an ultimatum. If the Xikong clan doesn't participate in the war, we will destroy them first, a man with a sinister look said. Chapter 565. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go Divided by Xiao? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. That's not appropriate. It'll be counterproductive, said an elder of the Qingtian City Lord Mansion. Do you have a good idea, Elder Feng? Wu Di looked at the elder and asked. The Xikong family is a top family in the Qingtian region. What are you trying to do? Feng Yuanjia looked at Wu Di and said. In the Qingtian region, the Xikong family wasn't as powerful as the Ji family, but it was still a top family and had friendly relations with the Feng family, which Feng Yuanjia belonged to. Wu Di's attitude made him very unhappy. If they can't contribute to the war, what's the point of keeping them? Jiu Yuanhang said. When we go to war, it's up to them. When we went to war in the 3 Yuan region, Venerable Lu Yun said that the Xikong family wasn't interested in the war. However, if the Qingtian region is attacked, the Xikong family will definitely fight. Isn't that attitude enough? Now that you want to attack the Xikong family, can I see it as you trying to get rid of the dissidents? Feng Yuanjia stood up angrily. Elder Feng, you think too much. Sit down and let's talk. Jiu Fenglan glanced at the others and gestured with his arm. Jiu Fenglan was angry, but he couldn't do anything because many elders of the City Lord Mansion had stood up just now. Obviously, they were very unhappy with Jiu Yuanhang's attitude. Baidu search AI go female sign xiao say www.ichuxs. The Xikong family was very famous in the Qingtian region. When Jiu Yuanhang said that he wanted to get rid of the Xikong family, the people were angry. In the end, they came to the conclusion that they would continue to unite with other forces and look for other top venerables. The first one they would look for was Venerable Wu Hen Shui Wuling. They didn't have the strength to take down the Eastern Xian region and the Northern Sea region, so the Qingtian region would have to wait. After that, the others left the tent. Jiu Fenglan asked Jiu Yuanhang to stay. The Xikong family can't be left alive, but sometimes it depends on the situation. It's not appropriate to mention the situation just now. Jiu Fenglan waved his hand and set up a defensive shield to isolate sound and detection, then looked at Jiu Yuanhang and said. Yuanhang heard Wu Di's suggestion, so he added fuel to the fire, said Yuanhang. Wu Di is indeed powerful, but his fame, reputation and influence are not that great. His opinion is just for show. In the future we still need to pay more attention to those elders in the city. You go and make the arrangements. Set fire to our family's base in Bailing City, and kill a few outer members. You know what to do. Jiu Fenglan said to Jiu Yuanhang. I'm going to update for soon. Jiu Fenglan felt that now was the best time to strike at the Xikong family. The base of Jiu family in Bailing City was destroyed. Naturally, the Xikong family would be blamed for that. That would be a reason for a dispute. After pausing briefly, Jiu and Yuanhang went to make the arrangements. Watching Jiu Yuanhang leave, Jiu Fenglan sighed. Right now he was feeling sad. His path of cultivation was cut off, and his body was severely injured by Wu Lingfei. It would be very difficult for him to recover, and it could be said that he had no chance at all. Since he couldn't achieve anything himself, Jiu Fenglan focused all his energy on developing his family's power. This war between the Qingtian domain and the Eastern Shen domain was not only a domain war for Jiu Fenglan, but also an opportunity to expand his family's power. Jiu family's development in the Qingtian domain had reached a bottleneck. If they wanted to develop, they needed some extraordinary strategies. Now, Jiu Fenglan's plan was to weaken the Xikong family's power first. The Xikong family knew that this was an extraordinary period, so they didn't want to get involved in this. Xikong Qianding's strategy was to seek stability and get through this extraordinary period safely. As for the Jiu family's attack with force, Xikong Tianding wasn't afraid. Even if the Jiu family could defeat the Xikong family, they would lose their reputation in the Qingtian domain. By then, all the families and sects in the Qingtian domain would reject the Jiu family, which would make the development of the Jiu family more difficult. Besides, the Xikong family also had the ability to inflict heavy losses on the Jiu family. Although the ancestor of the Xikong family wasn't a saint or an invincible venerable, the strength of a peak venerable was something that everyone had to consider. Knight Sorrow had a very comfortable time every day. When he wasn't cultivating, he would go to the Realm Sea to catch a few fish and make them into grilled fish to go with wine. This made Lin Yuandao speechless. At present, only cultivators below the 5th level and saints could enter the Realm Sea at will. However, Knight Sorrow had broken this common sense. In addition, as time passed, more and more experts gathered in West Sea City, suppressing the Qingtian domain's forces in terms of strength. Tianji Tower's network was very wide. The branches of the 9 domains had some communication with some rogue cultivators, so it was normal to invite them to participate in the war. It could be said that if Tianji Tower wanted a real war, they could use all their trump cards to sweep the Qingtian domain. Of course, they had to eliminate the factor of Jiu Haitian. Auntie Fei, you are a saint, and so is the Chief Tower Master. If Chief Supervisor Gua and Elder Li enter the Saint Realm, will we be able to solve the problem at the root? Knight Sorrow asked. No, we can defeat Jiu Haitian, but if he wants to run away, it will be difficult to kill him. If we can't kill him, he will be a big hidden danger. It's very difficult to suppress the crazy revenge of a saint, Wu Lingfei said. She knew very well what Knight Sorrow meant. We have to be absolutely sure that we can do this. Otherwise, the consequences will be very serious, Lin Yuandao said. Knight Sorrow nodded and didn't say anything else. He understood Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao's worries. If a saint went crazy without any worries, other than saints who could resist him, the others would be killed. After chatting for a while, Knight Sorrow returned to his tent to cultivate. There were some things that he wanted to help with, but he was powerless and helpless. We can think about Knight Sorrow's words. If we use the Sky Amplification Disc Array, we still have a chance, Lin Yuandao said. If we don't have more than 70% confidence, don't touch him. We want stability. The longer we drag it out, the better it will be for us. Therefore, there is no need to consider radical methods, Wu Lingfei said. Wu Lingfei knew her own situation. With the help of the life crystal, Wu Lingfei's strength had improved very quickly. In terms of personal combat strength, it was only a matter of time before she surpassed Jiu Haitian. Therefore, Wu Lingfei wasn't in a hurry. She just wanted to stabilize the situation. While the two of them were talking, Taixian and Hua Haining came over. Hua Haining had received some news that the Qingtian region had found another invincible venerable, who was an emperor of the Tianfeng dynasty of the Taiqing region. There was also another piece of news. Something had happened in Bailing City, which was controlled by the Xikong family. Jiu family had burned down their stronghold. This was very vicious, but the Sikong family had a way to deal with it. The Sikong family caught a group of bandits on the same day and beheaded them in public for causing trouble in Bailing City. They also emphasized that the bandits had attacked Jianghu family's stronghold. Chapter 566. Genius 1 second. Remember love go divided by little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Hearing Jiu Yuanhong's report, the corners of Jiu Fenglan's eyes twitched. It seems that Sikong Luyun and Sikong Yuanshan were already prepared. Baidu search Love Gong Xiao say www.achux.com. Patriarch. This matter was not handled by Sikong Luyun and Sikong Yuanshan, but by Sikong Yuanshan's son, Sikong Tianding. He is currently in charge of the Sikong family, said Jiu Yuanhang. Carefully investigate the background of this Sikong heavenly cauldron, as well as its growth experience. Organize everything big or small and bring it to me. Jiu Fenglan waved his hand at Jiu Yuanhang. At this moment he felt a little tired, both mentally and physically. Jiu Fenglan originally planned to use the excuse that the Sikong family was hindering the Sikong family from behind to punish the Sikong family. However, the Sikong family acted too quickly. They directly exterminated the mountain bandits and used the mountain bandits as an excuse to push the boat along the current, which made Jiu Fenglan's excuse slip away. Love Gong little say W. Chu. Faced with such a situation, Jiu Fenglan had to say that the Sikong family handled it well even though they were competitors. Therefore he attached great importance to Sikong Tianding. This was also the reason why he asked Jiu Yuanhang to investigate Sikong Tianding. At this moment in the last pavilion of the Sikong family, Sikong Luyun and an old man with tiger-like eyes and a lion's mouth were sitting quietly. Sikong Tianding was opposite them. Tianding, you did well this time. The Jiu family is indeed shady. You must be very careful and cautious, said the old man with tiger-like eyes and a lion's mouth. Don't worry, father. Tianding will be careful. Sikong Tianding nodded and said. In troubled times, being in charge of a family is like treading on thin ice. It must be hard for you to be careful. The old man with tiger-like eyes and a lion's mouth nodded at Sikong Tianding. He was the current head of the Sikong family, Sikong Yuanshan, and also Sikong Tianding's father. Father, you're exaggerating. Tianding should contribute to the family. Besides, according to the current development of the situation, even if the Qingtian region joins forces with other forces and accumulates their strength, they won't be able to suppress the eastern profound region and the northern sea domain. They're getting stronger and stronger, said Sikong Tianding. Lord Golden Phoenix's strength is one thing. In addition, she traveled to the 9 regions and 18 prefectures in the past and left a very high reputation. The Eastern Xian region that she leads is completely different from the Eastern Xian region of the past, Sikong Luyun said. Over at the North Sea region, the Deshu clan and the Beitian clan have both started the war. Sword Venerable Beitian has also arrived at the Taiwa domain's West Sea city. The main reason is that the Tianji Tower is fully supporting the Eastern Xian region in this war. This is also one of the main reasons why the scales of victory are tilted towards the Eastern Xian region, Sikong Tianding said. The Tianji Tower is a force that can change the situation of the 9 regions, not to mention just a little influence. If it weren't for Jiu Haitian, the Qingtian region would have changed directly, Sikong Luyun said. Tianding has asked around. Lord Golden Phoenix entered the Saint Realm with the attribute of life. When her cultivation stabilizes and improves a little, Jiu Haitian won't be her opponent, Sikong Tianding said. It's not that we don't want to fight for the Qingtian region, but we don't want to be associated with the Jiu clan. Jiu clan might do something again. You have to be careful, Sikong Luyun said. Tianding will do it. Besides, I will also communicate with the elders of the City Lord Mansion and other families. The Jiu clan can't do whatever they want, Sikong Tianding said. You still have to plan for both sides. It's best if you can withstand a battle of wits, but you have to be prepared for a battle, Sikong Luyun said. Sikong Tianding nodded. He also had this plan, which was to transfer the young disciples and potential members of the family. That way they wouldn't have to worry about fighting with the Jiu clan. Night Sorrow cultivated for a while and then left the tent. After leaving the tent, Night Sorrow saw Taishu Yen and the others discussing something. He made tea and served them. After the discussion, Wu Lingfei and the others chatted casually. Night Sorrow, Sword Venerable North Heaven has a very outstanding granddaughter called North Heaven Wuxia. He wants to marry her to you, Taishu Yen said. Don't. I have someone now. Night Sorrow hurriedly waved his hand. He didn't want to have this kind of trouble. It seems that you're still very calm. Then let's not talk about this, Taishu Yen said with a smile. After chatting for a while, Taishu Yen and Hua Haining left the mountain and went to the camp. We've communicated with all the forces and people in the Qingtian region. Now that we can only mobilize so much power, it seems that we won't be able to make any waves, Lin Yuandao said. We'll just continue the confrontation. I didn't think that the Tianfeng dynasty would dare to participate in the war. They must be tired of living, Wu Lingfei said with killing intent in her words. How should I say this? Since the disappearance of the Moon Empress Yi Tian, the Taiqing region has been in chaos. Yun Tianlong doesn't care about the city lord's mansion, so the Tianfeng dynasty thinks that they're the boss, Lin Yuandao said. Remember this and we'll deal with it slowly in the future. Wu Lingfei's eyes emitted a cold light. The Tianfeng dynasty coming to fight the Eastern Shen region was no different from slapping her face, so she was extremely angry. Let's talk about it after we've calmed down. The dynasties in the Taiqing region are still squeezing Tianji Tower. This matter isn't over yet. We'll deal with them later, Lin Yuandao said. Wu Lingfei nodded. She knew that she could only endure it for now. The current battle situation was the most critical, and it was no longer the Eastern Shen region's matter. Aunt Fei, how many dynasties are there in the Taiqing region? Night Sorrow asked. There are only 6 that can be called dynasties. There are still many small forces, Wu Lingfei said. Chapter 4, Section Unspecified Currency X. Night Sorrow nodded. Although he still wanted to ask about the situation in the Taiqing region, he didn't ask. Wu Lingfei shook her head. How could she not know what was on Night Sorrow's mind? She also knew that Night Sorrow was under a lot of pressure. The days passed peacefully. Night Sorrow did nothing but cultivate, which made Lin Yuandao a little worried. He was afraid that Night Sorrow would be tired from cultivating like this, so he discussed with Wu Lingfei about Night Sorrow. The battle shouldn't start in a short time. Why don't we let him go back first? Cultivating like this will make people sick. No matter how strong his heart is, he's still young. This is an indisputable fact, Lin Yuandao said to Wu Lingfei. Indeed, junior sister neglected this point. Let's arrange something for him to do. Let him and Xikong Chuyu go to the Qingtian region and visit the Xikong clan, Wu Lingfei said. That's good. This will also show our attitude. As long as the Xikong clan doesn't mess with the Jiyu clan, we'll recognize them as friends, Lin Yuandao said. Then it's settled. Let Night Sorrow go there. He can also propose marriage. Wu Lingfei nodded and went to Night Sorrow's tent. Chapter 567. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? I will provide you with wonderful novels to read. Auntie Fei. Night Sorrow stood up and greeted her. Come out and brew a pot of tea, Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. Following Wu Lingfei out of the tent, Night Sorrow brewed a pot of tea. It was the Tao Comprehension tea that Wu Lingfei had brought out. Forever, free to read novels. Night Sorrow drank 2 mouthfuls and felt that the Tao Comprehension tea was indeed a divine product. The tea was sweet and pleasant, making him feel as if everything had calmed down. Then Lin Yuandao told him the result of his discussion with Wu Lingfei. Alright, I will make a trip. Night Sorrow will definitely complete the task that Lord K Master and Auntie Fei gave me, Night Sorrow said. There are some things that you can decide. You are now the Tianji Tower's celestial terminus envoy. You can decide on the matters of Tianji Tower and we will accept it, Lin Yuandao said. It's the same for the Eastern Shen region. Although your current duty is to guard and enforce the law, you have Aunt Fei's medallion and can represent her. This time, you will be representing the Eastern Shen region, said Wu Lingfei to Yishang. Then I will be going. Auntie Fei, Chief K Master, you too be careful, Night Sorrow said as he tightened his grip on the reincarnation spear and put Silver Fox into the beast-taming space. Also, with the Celestial Terminus Envoy's token, you can use our Tianji Tower's teleportation array as you wish. This is the map of the teleportation array. You must keep it well. Lin Yuandao took out a beast skin map and handed it to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow understands. Night Sorrow put the beast skin map into his storage ring and nodded to Lin Yuandao. Also, follow your heart when doing things. You don't need to look at anyone's face. If the Xikong family really gives you any face, then come back. Auntie Fei will take care of it then, Wu Lingfei said. She didn't want Night Sorrow to suffer any grievances. Riding the Qianyu, Night Sorrow arrived at the teleportation array at the edge of West Sea City before returning to the Pure Heart Villa. In Qingxing Cottage, Night Sorrow unexpectedly saw Aoi and Gong Xian. Aoi, who was chatting with Yang Lei and Xikong Chuyu, said with a smile, "You've been gone for so long. Eldest senior brother and I have been here for half a month. I went to the Realm Sea near West Sea City. The situation there was a bit tense, so I stayed there for a while. Night Sorrow took the tea Yang Lei handed him and said, "How's the situation over there?" Xianxia asked. Night Sorrow then explained the situation over there and why he had returned. "I see. It seems like you're going to leave after a few days," Yang Lei said with a disappointed tone. "Yes. It's more important to communicate with the Xikong clan. Aunt Fei doesn't want the Xikong clan to get involved in this mess." Night Sorrow nodded. "It's not a big deal for Ninth Senior Sister to come with us. My parents aren't people who are difficult to talk to. It's only a matter of time before we meet," Xianxia said. She was very happy to be going home. The dinner was sumptuous. Everyone drank some wine casually. After that, Night Sorrow went to check on the god-slaying team. Only then did he return to the main building to rest. Knowing that Night Sorrow was very tired, the two women did not let Night Sorrow do anything. The three of them had a simple night's rest. After washing up, the three of them went to the dining hall. Gong Xian and Aoi were already waiting for them. 13. Eldest senior brother is really impressed by your cultivation base. Gong Xian, who had just advanced to the 5th level of the Void Inquiry stage, happened to be able to see Night Sorrow's cultivation base. "As I cultivate, my cultivation base will rise," Night Sorrow said with a smile. "It's easy for you to say that. However, 6th senior sister also needs to prepare for her breakthrough. When you guys come back, we'll celebrate for her," Aoi said to Night Sorrow. "Love, Gone Little, say, W. Chu." After having breakfast, Night Sorrow and the other two left Xianxia courtyard and headed to the strategic teleportation formation of Tianji Tower. Ordinary teleportation formations could also be used, but they were not suitable for Night Sorrow and the other two. Night Sorrow was registered in the Qingtian region. If they took ordinary teleportation formations, they would be easily targeted. That would be dangerous. The people of the Qingtian region wished that they could strangle Night Sorrow to death. In addition, ordinary teleportation formations could not reach Qingtian City directly. There were still a few sections of the journey that needed to be flown. It was very troublesome. When they arrived at the small courtyard where the teleportation formation of Tianji Tower was hidden, the three of them put on their masks. Then, Night Sorrow led the way to the teleportation formation in the courtyard. "Greetings, Heavenly Extremity Emissary." The two old men who were guarding the teleportation formation bowed. "Teleport. Our destination is Qingtian City." Night Sorrow took out the token of the Heavenly Extremity Emissary and said. Then the three of them began the teleportation. After every stage of the teleportation, Night Sorrow only needed to report their destination. The members of Tianji Tower who were guarding the teleportation formation would then teleport them according to the best route. After a few teleportations, the three of them arrived at the underground palace of the Heavenly Extremity Pavilion. "Greetings, Heavenly Extremity Emissary." Tianxing bowed to the three of them. "Lord Tianxing is too polite. Can we teleport to Beiling City from here?" Night Sorrow asked. "No, this teleportation formation is the key of the key. It's only connected to 2 strategic teleportation formations and the secret tower," Tianxing answered. Night Sorrow nodded. He felt that now that he had time, he wanted to take a look at the blueprints of Tianji Tower's teleportation formation. He had come in too much of a hurry and hadn't paid attention. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow didn't go to the secret tower. After bidding farewell to Tianxing, the three of them sat on the beast carriage and walked toward the mansion district of Tianji Tower. Using the teleportation formation too many times would make one's body a little uncomfortable. Night Sorrow didn't mind. He wanted to take the 2 girls to mansion number 9 to rest. They wouldn't miss a day to go to Beiling City. After an inspection, the three of them entered the mansion district and arrived at mansion number 9. Xiang brewed a pot of tea for the three of them. "This is too fast. We were tens of millions of miles away in the morning, and we're already drinking tea in the mansion in the afternoon," Xianxia said with some emotion. After taking a sip of tea, Night Sorrow thought for a while and asked, "Chiu, can I propose marriage for myself?" "Yes. There shouldn't be anything wrong with it," Xianxia said with a red face. "Ninth senior sister, what's suitable as a betrothal gift?" Night Sorrow asked. "You're asking me? I've never experienced this before," Yang Lei said with a smile. In the end, the three of them discussed for a while. Night Sorrow decided to use life crystals and spiritual liquid origins as betrothal gifts. These were also resources that would be useful to Xianxia's parents. Night Sorrow originally wanted to offer 7 life crystals, but Xianxia felt that it was too much and wasn't suitable. One had to know that a single life crystal was an incredible treasure. She meant that good things came in pairs. 2 pieces of life crystals would be enough for each of her parents. That night, Night Sorrow was a little apprehensive. This was because to him, this was a major event in his life. He didn't know what the personalities of Sikong Chuyu's parents were or if they were difficult to talk to. After a night's rest, the three of them woke up early. Night Sorrow put on a set of pure white loose robes. Sikong Chuyu helped Night Sorrow comb his hair before leaving. The three of them set off early mainly because they didn't want to be noticed. Chapter 568. Geniuses remember love in 1 second go? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Everyone in the Qingtian region knew that this war wasn't just between the Qingtian region and the eastern Xian region. Many forces were involved, and the most obvious ones were Qianji Tower and the North Sea region. Therefore, it was reasonable for the guards of Qingtian City to treat Night Sorrow's group with hostility when they wore Qianji Tower masks. Night Sorrow didn't care about the hostile gazes at all. No matter what, the guards still had to help them teleport. After all, the Qingtian region hadn't declared war on Qianji Tower. After arriving at Bailing City, the three of them stepped out of the teleportation array. It feels familiar. Night Sorrow, ninth senior sister, this is where I grew up, Sikong Chuyu said excitedly. Then when we're done, you have to bring ninth senior sister and me around, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow, Chuyu, you should find an inn for me to rest first. Night Sorrow wants to propose marriage, but who brings a woman to propose marriage? This isn't appropriate. It'll make people dislike you and make them think that you're here to show off, Yang Lei said. Ninth senior sister, it's fine. My parents aren't that kind of person, Sikong Chuyu said. If it's really fine, then come find me at the inn. Yang Lei had already made up her mind. She didn't want to cause trouble for Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu. Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu glanced at each other and didn't force Yang Lei. In the end, Sikong Chuyu found an inn that was closest to the Sikong family's residence and was also patrolled by the Sikong family's guards. He arranged for Yang Lei to enter while Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu took off their masks. Go. Night Sorrow, believe in yourself. You're the most outstanding. You can easily pass this hurdle, Yang Lei said as she hugged Night Sorrow. If things go smoothly, then I'll propose marriage to Master when we return. Night Sorrow patted Yang Lei's back. He could feel that Yang Lei was also looking forward to it. They were both his women, so Night Sorrow wouldn't favor one and discriminate against the other. After leaving the inn, Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu casually bought some gifts on the streets and entered the Sikong family's residence, which was even grander than the city lord's residence. City. Seeing Sikong Chuyu, the guards on duty all bowed to greet her. Sikong Chuyu was the young miss of the Sikong clan, a true direct descendant. Surrounded by rows of guards, Sikong Chuyu brought Yi Shang deep into the Sikong family's mansion. It had to be said that the Sikong family's residence was extremely huge. It was a bit of an exaggeration to say that it occupied 1,000 miles, but it had a radius of a few hundred miles. When they were still some distance away from Sikong Chuyu's residence, the two of them were stopped. Cousin, you really dared to bring him back. Who is he? A disciple of an unranked sect. Is he worthy to come to my Sikong family? Chuyu, who had looked down on Night Sorrow in the Longquan courtyard, blocked Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu's path. What does it have to do with you? Sikong Chuyu was a bit angry when she heard Chuyu looking down on Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow was her man. Looking down on Night Sorrow was like slapping her face. It has nothing to do with me personally, but this concerns the Sikong family's honor. Cousin, you're the Sikong family's young Mississippi. How can you be so casual? Chuyu had no intention of giving way. You still know that I'm the Sikong family's young miss? Is the honor of the Sikong family something you can casually judge? Back off. Sikong Chuyu was enraged by Chuyu's repeated pestering, and his temper exploded. Most UK new chapter O section above M underscore. Then I want to see how third uncle will deal with this. Chuyu retreated, but she didn't leave. She still wanted to follow behind Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu. Chuyu, what's there to be angry about? You're about to see uncle and auntie, so be happy. Night Sorrow patted Sikong Chuyu's shoulder and said, show off. In a moment, my third uncle will chop off your dog paws, Chuyu, who was following behind Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu, said. Just shut up. I don't even want to take a look at your cousin, Chu Heng. There's a limit to how much you can do. Sikong Chuyu turned around and said impatiently. He also told her about the news that Chuyu had been attacking Night Sorrow. Cousin, what's the point of being so overbearing? Don't forget that I'm also the Sikong family's young miss, and my mother is also an elder of the Sikong family. Chuyu's words became sharp when Sikong Chuyu called her shameless. We are cousins, but please remember that your surname is Chu, and my surname is Sikong. This is the Sikong family. If you continue to talk nonsense with me, I don't mind calling the guards over to take you down. You can try and see if they will listen to you or me. Sikong Chuyu's tone was a little cold. This wasn't because Sikong Chuyu didn't care about their sisterhood. It was because Chuyu had been competing with Sikong Chuyu ever since they were young. Sikong Chuyu didn't care about some small matters, but when it came to Night Sorrow she wouldn't give in at all. This was her bottom line. Chuyu's expression became unnatural when she heard Sikong Chuyu's words. She really didn't dare to compete on this point. Even if Sikong Chuyu didn't compete, the position of the Sikong family's young miss was there. It wasn't something she could compare to. Sikong Chuyu ignored the silent Chuyu and pulled Night Sorrow's arm. The two of them walked towards the interior of the residence. The Sikong family was the core of the Sikong family, and the living area was also the core of this large courtyard. After walking for a while, the two of them led a tail, arrived in front of a courtyard. The tail was naturally Chuyu. Night Sorrow, this is where I live. Sikong Chuyu pointed at the courtyard with the Heavenly Cauldron residence's lintel. Night Sorrow reached out and tidied his robes because they were about to get to the main topic. No matter how well you take care of it, it's still a dog in disguise. Chuyu couldn't help but speak again to attack Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow turned around and glanced at Chuyu. He felt that he had met all kinds of people and even bitches, but he had never seen someone as bitchy as Chuyu. Ignoring Chuyu, Sikong Chuyu pulled Night Sorrow into the Heavenly Cauldron residence. However, Chuyu didn't enter because she saw someone familiar. It was her aunt, a deacon of the Sikong family, Chu Zhongfei. The Sikong family was a colossus in the Qingtian region. Not everyone in the family had the surname Sikong. There were some small subsidiary families with different surnames. The Chu family was one of them. Chu Zhongfei greeted Chuyu when she saw her. Chuyu quickly explained the situation and pulled Chu Zhongfei into the Heavenly Cauldron residence. In the small garden of the Heavenly Cauldron residence, a middle-aged couple was playing chess. The man sat there with the aura of a superior. He was the current head of the Sikong family, Sikong Tianding. The woman sitting opposite Sikong Tianding had a graceful and luxurious aura. She was the eldest miss of the Yunwu mountain and the wife of the current head of the Sikong family, Jianghu. Father, mother, I'm back. Sikong Chuyu shouted from afar. Sikong Tianding and Jianghu put down the chess pieces in their hands and turned to look at their precious daughter. You still know to come back. Don't be so shameless. Quickly let go of him and let mother see if you've lost weight. Jianghu waved at her daughter. Sikong Chuyu let go of Night Sorrow and went to Jianghu's side to hold her hand. Chapter 569. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. I've heard of the name Night Sorrow many times. You're not bad. Don't stand on ceremony. Have a seat. Someone serve the tea. Sikong Tianding pointed at a chair beside Night Sorrow and then called out to the servants who were waiting outside the garden. Thank you. Night Sorrow cupped his hands and sat down again. Chuyu, why didn't you tell your grandfather that you've been away for so long? He's very worried about you. Jianghu pulled Sikong Chuyu's hand and said, I didn't want to bring trouble to my grandfather. That's why I left the Cloud Mist Mountain. Sikong Chuyu said, Mother knows that you're sensible. The family has received the letter you wrote. Your Aunt Tianyu also told us about the situation when she came back. Jianghu said to her daughter while sizing up Night Sorrow. Come have some tea. Sikong Tianding held a teacup and nodded at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow held the teacup with both hands and cupped his hands at Sikong Tianding. Then he took a small sip. I know about your situation. If you have nothing to do in the future, just come to my house and have a chat. Sikong Tianding looked at Night Sorrow. He felt a little strange because when Sikong Tianyu came back, he said that Night Sorrow was at the peak of the 5th level of the Void Inquiry stage. Now Night Sorrow was already at the 8th level of the Void Inquiry stage. The difference between the two was huge. Upper percent G, thank you uncle. Night Sorrow nodded. At this time Chu Zhongfei and Chuyu also arrived at the small garden. Chu Zhongfei then reported some family matters. Sikong Tianding waved his hand and had Chu Zhongfei sit down. Chuyu then greeted Sikong Tianding and Jianghu. Why aren't you greeting your cousin? Seeing that Chuyu ignored Sikong Chuyu, Chu Zhongfei frowned and said. Sikong Tianding could not be bothered with children's mischief. However, there should be a hierarchy. In the Sikong clan, regardless of their status in the clan or their seniority, Chuyu had to greet Sikong Chuyu. Glancing at Chu Zhongfei, Chuyu bowed to Sikong Chuyu. Sikong Tianding shook his head helplessly. He felt helpless when it came to this niece of his. It could even be said that he tolerated her. Just as Sikong Tianding was shaking his head, another middle-aged couple arrived at the garden. Father, Mother, you're here. Chuyu became happy because the people who came were her parents, Chu Zhongqing and Xikong Tianlin. Greetings to third brother and third sister-in-law. Chu Zhongqing and Xikong Tianlin bowed to Xikong Tianding and Yangyu. Xikong Chuyu cupped his hands and greeted Chu Zhongqing and Xikong Tianlin. Chuyu is back. I have something to say. That Chu Hung has been asking uncle for help. Chu Zhongqing said with a smile. Uncle, you're exaggerating. After Xikong Chuyu finished speaking, she nodded at Night Sorrow, indicating that Night Sorrow could begin. She knew what Chu Zhongqing was going to say next. Uncle, Auntie, I came here to pay my respects and to request that you let me take care of Chuyu. Night Sorrow stood up and went straight to the point. Night Sorrow wasn't stupid and naturally knew what Chu Zhongqing was going to say next. Is this a marriage proposal? Xikong Tianding said with a smile. He was happy that Night Sorrow understood the situation. Because Night Sorrow didn't say anything, he was going to reject Chu Zhongqing. That would hurt their reputation and harmony. Yes, that's what I meant. Night Sorrow nodded. Which family's wild child is this? Don't you know your manners? Don't you know that marriage has always been decided by the parents since ancient times? After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Xikong Tianlin raised his eyebrows and reprimanded him. Now that Xikong Tianlin was a member of the Chu clan, she naturally wanted to strengthen the ties and strengthen the Chu clan's position in the Xikong clan. She was very clear that whoever married Xikong Chuyu would be highly regarded by the clan's old ancestor. You're Chuyu's elder, so I can tolerate you this once. Before speaking ill of others, you have to be polite and don't speak rudely. I make my own decisions. If I like Chuyu, so what if I propose marriage? After being scolded by Xikong Tianlin as a wild child, Night Sorrow's aura trembled for a moment before stabilizing. How dare you boast so shamelessly in the Xikong clan? Today I'll teach you a lesson on behalf of your parents. Xikong Tianlin's body flashed as he sent a palm strike towards Night Sorrow's chest. Stop. Xikong Tianlin's attack was very sudden, and it was too late for Xikong Tianding to stop him. He stood up and roared. At this moment, Night Sorrow raised his left hand and used the Hand of Desolation to counter Xikong Tianlin's right hand. When Night Sorrow sent out his palm strike, a strange phenomenon of flowing scenes appeared on his palm. After that, the power of Xikong Tianlin's palm strike began to weaken from the first level of the Venerable Realm to the 9th level of the Void Inquiry stage and finally to the 8th level of the Void Inquiry stage. Asterisk bang asterisk with a muffled sound, Night Sorrow's body swayed and did not move. However, Xikong Tianlin's body was pushed back. Wrinkles appeared on his hand which was damaged by the power of time. When Night Sorrow fought against Bei Tiange always had energy protecting his body. As for Xikong Tianlin, the energy on his hand was scattered by Night Sorrow. Naturally, it was eroded by the characteristics of the power of time in the Hand of Desolation. After pushing Xikong Tianlin back with a palm strike, Night Sorrow glanced at Chu Zhongqing who took out his sword. Then he grabbed the handle of the reincarnation spear behind his shoulder with his right hand. Enough. Tianlin, you're getting more and more overboard. Do you still have me in your eyes? Where do you think this is? Xikong Tianding waved his sleeves, causing Xikong Tianlin's body to stagger again. He really couldn't hold back his anger. Third brother. Xikong Tianlin looked at Xikong Tianding in astonishment. Then he looked at Night Sorrow. You still know how to call me third brother? Chuyu is my daughter. No one can force or interfere with who she likes and who she wants to marry. Back then Jiyu's family and the family's elders couldn't make me compromise. If you respect me, you shouldn't have touched my bottom line. Xikong Tianding glared at Xikong Tianlin and roared. Xikong Tianlin calmed down. At this moment, he understood that Xikong Tianding had always been modest towards him because of their sibling relationship. Apart from that, Xikong Tianding was an expert and one of the most powerful people in the Xikong family. Chu Zhongqing, why don't you try drawing your weapon? If you dare, I'll kick you out of the Xikong family. After reprimanding Xikong Tianlin, Xikong Tianding turned his head and looked at Chu Zhongqing. Third brother, please calm down. Chu Zhongqing's face was ashen. This was the first time he saw Xikong Tianding so angry. All of you sit there obediently and listen. Xikong Tianding returned to the main seat and roared again. I acted rashly out of self-defense. Please forgive me, Uncle. Junior hasn't finished speaking yet. Uncle, please let me take care of Chuyu. Night Sorrow withdrew his hand from the reincarnation spear. He tidied his robe and bowed to Xikong Tianding and Yangyu again. You're calm and composed in the face of danger. Just based on this, I believe you can take good care of Chuyu. Where's the betrothal gift? Don't you need a betrothal gift to propose marriage? Xikong Tianding looked at Night Sorrow. Chapter 570. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Yishang couldn't be blamed for being surprised. Normally, when someone came to propose marriage, the other party would ask about the family background, inquire about the situation and make some requests. This was the normal procedure, but Xikong Tianding directly asked for betrothal gifts. Don't tell me you want to beat around the bush and ask about this and that? If you have the time, why don't you drink tea and chat? I like you. Most importantly, Chiyu likes and acknowledges you. That's enough. Xikong Tianding nodded at Night Sorrow. Thank you, uncle. This is the betrothal gift. Night Sorrow stepped forward and placed 2 life spirit stones and 2 bottles of origin spiritual liquid on the small table in front of Xikong Tianding. Life crystals as a betrothal gift? Not bad. It's settled then. You can decide when you want to get married. Just let me know when the time comes. With a wave of his hand, Xikong Tianding put away the betrothal gift into his storage ring. Third brother. Granduncle did say that he wouldn't force Chuyu, but he also said that the husband Chuyu chose would have to pass his eyes. Even if Tianlin doesn't interfere in this matter, third brother, you still have to ask about his background and background? Xikong Tianlin asked. After calming down, Xikong Tianlin felt that Xikong Tianding wanted to avoid the family and decide on Xikong Chuyu's marriage. Therefore he brought out the family's old ancestor. Origin? He comes from the eastern Shen region. Third brother knows that family background isn't important. Even if he doesn't have it now, he just has to work hard to make a prominent family background. Granduncle won't interfere with Chuyu's matters. If you feel that something is wrong, you can report it to the old ancestor. Third brother won't keep you for lunch. Xikong Tianding rudely chased them away. In the past, when Xikong Tianjing and Xikong Tianhua were messing around, Xikong Tianding didn't want to hurt their brotherly relationship unless Xikong Chuyu forced him to. Everyone in the Xikong family knew this. Now that Xikong Tianlin was interfering, he didn't want to be polite anymore. Xikong Tianlin's expression changed. He cupped his hands at Xikong Tianding and Yang Yu before leaving the Heavenly Cauldron residence. Tianding, is this all right? Yang Yu asked as she watched Xikong Tianlin, Chu Zhongqing, Chu Zhongfei and Chu Yu leave. There's nothing bad about it. They're a little reckless and don't know what they can't do. That little girl is also too impudent. She doesn't know that my precious daughter is the young miss of the Xikong clan. I've tolerated them for so many years. There's no end to it. I won't spoil them in the future, Xikong Tianding said angrily. Father, don't be angry. Let's not be angry. Xikong Chuyu came to Xikong Tianding's side and held his hand. How can I not be angry? Night Sorrow, I don't have any requirements for you. Just one thing, whoever dares to bully my precious daughter, kill them no matter who they are, Xikong Tianding said. Uncle, don't worry. Night Sorrow will definitely do it. Night Sorrow bowed. He really admired Xikong Tianding's character. He placed his family above all else. You're lucky to have the daughter that I spent so much effort to raise. You can call me father-in-law. Look, that's mother-in-law. Xikong Tianding raised his chin at Yang Yu. Night Sorrow pays his respects to father-in-law and mother-in-law. Night Sorrow bowed again. This meeting gift is really worrying. Father-in-law, I don't have any extra spirit weapons. If it's not a spirit weapon, you probably won't care about it. Spirit stones are too vulgar. Let me think about it first. Xikong Tianding stroked the beard under his chin and said after thinking for a while. How embarrassing. You two chat. I'll go arrange the banquet. Yang Yu smiled and left the garden. Xikong Chuyu also followed. Father-in-law, Night Sorrow came here this time for another matter. I'm here on behalf of Tianji Tower and Eastern Shen region. Night Sorrow poured a cup of tea for Xikong Tianding and said, You're here on behalf of Tianji Tower and Eastern Shen region? Can you do it? Xikong Tianding looked at Night Sorrow with some surprise. Of course. This is my Aunt Fei's token. This is the token of the Heaven's Extremity Envoy of Tianji Tower. I'm mainly here to communicate with father-in-law. Night Sorrow took out Wu Lingfei's token and the Heaven's Extremity Envoy's token and showed it to Xikong Tianding. Kid, you're really something. Your strength is first class and your social status is also first class. Then let's talk. Someone bring a jar of wine. The more Xikong Tianding looked at Night Sorrow, the more he liked him. He shouted to the servant. Night Sorrow has wine here. Night Sorrow took out a jar of azure blood wine and poured a bowl for Xikong Tianding. Xikong Tianding took the bowl and drank it in one gulp. Good wine, it's really satisfying. You come too. Let's drink and talk. But kid, don't expect your father-in-law to betray the family. That's impossible. Night Sorrow smiled and told him about Lin Yuandao and Wu Lingfei's intentions. They hoped that the Xikong family would not get involved in this mess. If they needed any help, Tianji Tower could help them secretly. That's not a problem. We, the Xikong clan, have our own dignity. We won't follow anyone, Xikong Tianding said. Bow 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 bow, then I'm relieved. Night Sorrow felt a lot more at ease now that the two things he needed to do in the Xikong clan had been settled. After that, Night Sorrow and Xikong Tianding began to chat and sip wine. A moment later, Jianghu and Xikong Chuyu returned to the garden. Night Sorrow, how could you leave Chiyu's sisters in the inn? That's not appropriate. Let's forget about lunch. You can pick them up later and have dinner together, Yang Lei said. Just now, Xikong Chuyu had told her about Yang Lei. All right. Night Sorrow nodded. You have the ability. A man should blossom in all directions. Everything is fine. But if you don't treat Chuyu well, your father-in-law won't forgive you, Xikong Tianding said. After lunch they drank tea and chatted. At this moment, an old man in a gray robe walked into the courtyard. Tianding, why didn't you bring him to my place? The old man asked after entering the courtyard. I just finished my lunch. Night Sorrow, this is our family's ancestor, Xikong Tianding introduced. After Xikong Tianding finished his introduction, Xikong Chuyu and Night Sorrow bowed respectfully. He has already reached the 8th level of the Void Inquiry stage at such a young age. This is very rare. His essence chi is more than 40 jianghu 3. 33 m per jianghu, tall. His body has also been cultivated to a high level. That Chu Hing even had designs on Chuyu. Compared to you, he's just trash. Xikong Luyan sized up Night Sorrow and said, Granduncle, has Tianlin gone to see you? Xikong Tianding thought for a while and asked. It's fine for a girl to side with an outsider. But there must be a limit. She seems to have no bottom line. You have to teach her a lesson. The Xikong clan is the world of the Xikong clan. You have to distinguish the priorities. Xikong Luyan said. During the conversation, Xikong Tianding told him about the news brought by Night Sorrow. He also told him about the forces that the Eastern Shen region and Tianji Tower had gathered in the Realm Sea. He also told him about the attitudes of the Eastern Shen region and Tianji Tower. A just cause enjoys abundant support while an unjust cause finds little support. The Jiyu clan is becoming more and more unreliable. The Xikong clan won't participate in this matter. Since the Tianji Tower, the Eastern Shen region and Lord Golden Phoenix have given us face, we have to accept it. Xikong Luyan said. In other words, he accepted the suggestion of the Eastern Shen region and Tianji Tower. Then I can go back and report on my mission. Night Sorrow said. Chapter 571. Geniuses remember love in 1 second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Senior, do you mean that my Auntie Faye knows about the Xikong family's decision? I'm just here to go through the motions? Night Sorrow looked at Xikong Luyan in surprise. You brought the message. As long as the Xikong family isn't stupid, we will definitely choose to stay out of it. Therefore, Lord Golden Phoenix already knows the actual result. You can stay here for a few more days. Xikong Luyan said as he sized up Night Sorrow. He was very curious about how Night Sorrow had cultivated his body to the point that it was more than 40 feet tall. I see. It's just a formality. Night Sorrow shook his head. He understood that Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao had sent him out to play. Not everyone can go through this formality. If it were anyone else, the Xikong family would also have to be on guard. Since you are here, you don't have to think about anything else. You don't have to think about how high or low your attitude is. Just do what you need to do. This is pretty good, Xikong Luyan said with a smile. Night Sorrow nodded. He understood the benefits of coming here. It was true that he was more suitable than anyone else. After staying for a while, Xikong Luyan reminded Night Sorrow to stay for a few more days before leaving. At the same time, he asked Xikong Chuyu to bring Night Sorrow to his place when he was free. Lunch was eaten by Xikong Tianding and his wife, Night Sorrow and Xikong Chuyu. Fortunately, everyone got along well. A good alcohol tolerance was very useful at this time. Night Sorrow accompanied Xikong Tianding until he was dizzy, but he was still fine. You have a good alcohol tolerance. Your father-in-law can't take it anymore. I'm going to sleep for a while. Xuanhuan. Xikong Tianding waved his hand and a man in white appeared at the side of the garden. Follow the son-in-law closely when he is at the Xikong residence. If anyone dares to cause trouble for him, just take them down. If you can't handle it yourself, bring the feather guards with you. Xikong Tianding said something to the white-robed man who was Xuanhuan. Then he went back to his room to rest. Night Sorrow, our family only has one daughter, Chuyu, so this will be your home from now on. Make yourself at home, Xianxia said as she stood up. After Xikong Tianding and Xianxia left, Knight Sorrow and Xikong Chuyu smiled at each other. How does it feel to have a successful marriage proposal? Xikong Chuyu asked the servants to serve tea. He then looked at Knight Sorrow and asked with a smile. Steady? I can finally be with you openly, Knight Sorrow said. In the past, many people wanted to interfere with my marriage. They all wanted to use my marriage as an opportunity to cozy up to the Xikong family. Now that the ancestor and my parents have acknowledged you, there won't be any blind people who want to cause trouble. Love gon little sake, Xikong Chuyu said with a smile. I understand. That's why I said steady, Knight Sorrow said with a smile. Then let's go out for a walk. I'll have to trouble Uncle Kong Yuan during this time. Xikong Chuyu nodded at Kong Yuan. Kong Yuan was Xikong Tianding's personal guard. He was also a commander of the Feather Guard under Xikong Tianding's command. He was relatively familiar with Xikong Chuyu. Chuyu, don't be so polite with Uncle Kong Yuan. Alright, I'll go arrange the beast carriage. Kong Yuan smiled and left to make the arrangements. Knight Sorrow and Xikong Chuyu then left the Xikong family's residence in the beast carriage. They first went to the inn to pick up Yang Lei before touring Bailing City. Bailing City was a city ruled by the Xikong family. Although it couldn't compare to Qingtian City, it was still very prosperous. It was between a monarch city and a first-grade city. Kong Yuan followed Knight Sorrow and the others from afar. This way he wouldn't disturb Knight Sorrow and the others and wouldn't cause any problems. Xikong Chuyu bought clothes for his parents and some of Bailing City's specialty wine for Knight Sorrow. Baidu search AI go female sign xiao say www.ichuxs.com. After touring Bailing City for half a day, the three of them finally returned to the Xikong family's residence. Xikong Tianding and Xianxia also treated Yang Lei very well. This was how gracious and magnanimous they were. Knight Sorrow, it's fine for you to propose marriage on your own behalf. Your mother-in-law, the patriarch, and I also agree. However, this engagement ceremony can't go on. After all, something is missing. If you have time, bring an elder over. That way it'll be easier to talk things over, Xikong Tianding said during dinner. Knight Sorrow understands. Knight Sorrow nodded. He knew that Xikong Tianding's request was very reasonable. After all, big families needed to look good. Yes, you guys are going out to play today. Father-in-law was thinking about this matter. It's a little inappropriate for you to hold this engagement ceremony by yourself. However, don't worry. We've already informed the family about you and Chuyu. Everyone in the family knows about your existence, Xikong Tianding said. Knight Sorrow and the others stayed in the Xikong family for a few days. Knight Sorrow and Xikong Chuyu also paid a visit to Xikong Chuyu's close relatives. Of course, this included Xikong Tianlin and Chu Zhongqing. No one knew what Xikong Tianlin and Chu Zhongqing were thinking. However, they still received Knight Sorrow and Xikong Chuyu politely on the surface. Chu Zhongqing didn't say a word from beginning to end. Knight Sorrow and Xikong Chuyu didn't care about this. This was just a courtesy visit. They didn't care about Xikong Tianlin and Chu Zhongqing's attitude. The one who was most enthusiastic about Knight Sorrow was Xikong Tianyu. She wasn't married and only had relatives in the Xikong family. Knight Sorrow also invited Xikong Tianyu to be a guest in the eastern Xian region. After staying for a few days, Knight Sorrow had to leave. He was worried about the confrontation between the eastern Xian region and the Qingtian region. Although he couldn't do anything, Knight Sorrow hoped that he could be there. That could be considered as doing his duty as a citizen of the eastern Xian region. Xikong Tianding expressed his support for Knight Sorrow's decision to leave. He could understand Knight Sorrow's state of mind. However, Xikong Tianding and Xianxia were very reluctant to part with Xikong Chuyu. This was because Xikong Chuyu had expressed that he would go with Knight Sorrow to Taiyue region. Xikong Tianding personally sent Knight Sorrow and the other two to Bailing City's teleportation array. Remember to come back when you have time. Xikong Tianding said to Knight Sorrow and the other two who had entered the teleportation array. Knight Sorrow and the other two bowed to Xikong Tianding and started the teleportation array. After arriving at Qingtian City, the three glanced at the guards and quickly left the teleportation array. Then they put on their masks and rode Yang Lei's mount to the underground hall of the Celestial Peak Pavilion. Then they started the teleportation array. Not long after Knight Sorrow and the others left the teleportation array, a guard shouted, "That's the wanted criminal of our Qingtian region, Knight Sorrow. Hurry up and chase after him. I will report to the city lord's mansion." The Qingtian region had already confirmed that the loss of the Xiantian Tower, which was also the Spacetime Pagoda, was related to Knight Sorrow. This was because Knight Sorrow was the most suspicious person during that period of time. It could be said that Sky-bearing City had investigated all the people who had attempted the pagoda during that period of time. They had captured and interrogated them, but there was no problem. In addition, Wu Lingfei had also used the pagoda once, so this matter had been confirmed. Night Sorrow naturally became a wanted criminal of Sky-bearing City. He is all one pirated version. Yi Shang's portrait had already been passed down in the Qingtian region. However, it didn't exist in Bailing City because it was a region ruled by the Xikong clan. If the Xikong clan wanted to, they could do so. If they didn't want to, they wouldn't. Chapter 572. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. After leaving the valley where West Sea City's teleportation array was, Night Sorrow looked at the two girls. Why don't you go to West Sea City's Qingji Tower branch and wait for me there? We'll go and take a look together. You don't need to worry about our safety. The battle shouldn't have started yet, otherwise there would have been rumors, Yang Lei said. She knew that Night Sorrow had arranged this because he was worried about her and Xikong Chuyu's safety. Yes, you don't need to worry. We'll discover any danger ahead of time. Xikong Chuyu also wanted to go and take a look. After thinking about it, Night Sorrow felt that the two girls' words were reasonable, so he nodded in agreement. The three of them rode their mounts to the edge of the realm sea and approached the battlefield. Seeing that there were no changes, Night Sorrow brought the two girls to the camp by the sea. After greeting some acquaintances, Night Sorrow brought the two girls to the mountain where Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao were cultivating. We're back. Things should have gone smoothly, right? Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao opened their eyes. Very smoothly. Is there any situation on Aunt Fei's side? Night Sorrow looked at the camp in the realm sea and asked. Same as always. They're still in a stalemate. They're still trying to gather more people and increase their strength, but so what? Without confidence in winning, they won't dare to attack, Wu Lingfei said. What did the Xikong family say? Lin Yuandao asked. The Xikong family won't get involved in this mess, so they don't plan on getting involved with the Jiyu family. Night Sorrow told them about Xikong Luyun and Xikong Tianding's decision. That's good. Lin Yuandao nodded. The Xikong family was a top family in the Qingtian region and had many venerables. If they participated in the battle, it would have a big impact on the war. How are your personal matters? Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and Xikong Chuyu and asked. It went smoothly. Chuyu's father has already agreed to our matter, and Venerable Lu Yun doesn't object either. It's just that the engagement ceremony can't be carried out. After all, I don't have any elders present. Night Sorrow nodded. He was quite happy about this matter. When there's time, I'll go to the Xikong clan to help you settle the matter. If there's nothing else, you can go back to Dongshan City and rest. Cultivate as you should. There won't be any changes in this battle for a while, unless there's a special reason, said Wu Lingfei. You can go back first. Would the Qingtian region dare to attack directly? Without absolute certainty, they wouldn't dare to do it. But we might soon have the certainty, Lin Yuandao said. Night Sorrow thought about it and understood. If Guoxiao and Lutrin Xuan entered the Saint Realm, then the situation would change. After leaving some wine for Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao, Night Sorrow left the Realm Sea battlefield with the two women. They arrived at the strategic teleportation array and teleported back to Dongshan City. When they returned to Qingxin Cottage, they saw Gong Xian cultivating the wind and thundersword technique. Where's sixth senior sister? Asked Night Sorrow. Ah, she's stabilizing her cultivation. She broke through the day before yesterday. She's waiting for you to come back to celebrate. Gong Xian said after putting away his sword. This is a joyous occasion. We should celebrate. Once sixth senior sister stabilizes her cultivation, we'll hold a sumptuous banquet. Night Sorrow waved his arm. Aoi had always doted on and taken care of Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow was very grateful for this. Did your trip to the Xikong clan go smoothly? 13. Did your marriage proposal succeed? Gong Xian asked, his eyes full of anticipation. Yes. The Xikong clan agreed to my marriage proposal. Besides, I'm planning to return to the sect to propose marriage to Master. I can't let ninth senior sister continue to wait. Night Sorrow said. All right. This is our family's matter. It's just a formality. However, we still need to give her a betrothal gift. Gong Xian said with a smile. He was very happy to see his junior sister and junior brother living well. 2 days later, Aoi came out of seclusion. Night Sorrow asked Aunt Feng to arrange a sumptuous banquet for Aoi to celebrate. It's really not easy. I finally entered the 5th rank. Aoi said with some emotions. Congratulations, 6th senior sister. Night Sorrow raised his wine cup to Aoi. It's all because of the abundant resources you gave me. Otherwise, sixth senior sister wouldn't have had the chance. Always said to Night Sorrow. She was quite emotional. In the past, she really didn't think that she could enter the Void Inquiry stage. A few years ago, there were no venerables in the Medicine Valley. The Void Inquiry stage was the highest level. In the entire Medicine Valley, there were no Void Inquiry stage disciples among the younger generation. But now, the Taishan Peak was developing rapidly. More than half of the second-generation disciples of the Taishan Peak had entered the Void Inquiry stage. As for the other peaks, there were very few of them. There were only 3 or 4 of them. In total, they were only half of the Taishan Peak. What was the reason for this? It was because the resources that Night Sorrow provided were domineering. As long as everyone needed it, Night Sorrow would provide them with resources. 13th Junior Brother, the situation of our Taishan Peak has made the other peak lords very jealous. They have asked me many times about the reason. It made me feel very helpless. Gong Xian said with a smile. What's there to be jealous of? It's all because of senior brother and senior sister. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Your words aren't very convincing. This is what I said. The sacred cauldron scripture belongs to the Medicine Valley. My junior brother should hand it over to the Medicine Valley after obtaining it. However, my junior brother is willing to give the resources he obtained outside to senior brother and senior sister. What can we do about it? Gong Xian said with a smile. 13th Junior Brother, you don't know this. Those elders and peak lords came to find Master and said that they wanted you to help the disciples of the other peaks. Since Master didn't reply, they just stayed in the Taishan Peak and refused to leave. Aoi said with a smile. I'm also confused. When I have time, I will concoct more pills. However, I don't have a lot of materials. Night Sorrow said. You don't have to worry about that. After I kept some resources, I handed some level 4 pills to the sect. Aoi said. Eldest senior brother and 6th senior sister. You guys can do as you see fit. By the way, I still have some void pills and clear void pills. Night Sorrow took out a few bottles of pills and handed them to Aoi. Genuine F***CK. First F***CK. 13th Junior Brother, you have taken out too many resources. You have to keep them. Even if you can't use them, you can exchange them for resources you need. Aoi waved her hand. Gong Xian also shook his head. It's okay. I have enough resources. Night Sorrow smiled and placed the pills in front of Aoi. Maybe it's because I'm narrow-minded. When I see people I don't know or even know using 13th Junior Brother's resources, I feel uncomfortable. Aoi took a deep breath and said, It's okay. Medicine Valley is our sect. The sect is strong and we have a sense of honor. As for other things, it doesn't matter. Night Sorrow said with a smile. 13th Junior Brother, when do you plan to go back and propose marriage to Master? Also, don't you plan to climb Danding Cliff? Gong Xian looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Then let's go back and settle these 2 things. Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Chapter 573. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? We provide you with interesting novels to read. After cultivating for a whole night, Night Sorrow and the others woke up early. They tidied up and greeted Ning Qing Feng and the members of the God-slaying squad. Then they rode on their mounts and went to the teleportation formation, directly teleporting to Danding City. Love, Gong Little say, Wangqiu, eldest senior brother, Master is in seclusion. How am I going to propose marriage? Looking at the golden flame palace which was emitting a gentle light, Night Sorrow felt a little troubled. It's all right. Master is now working hard on his cultivation. He's not in seclusion to break through. There's no need to be disturbed. Gong Xian went into the Golden Flame Palace to look for Xianxia. The Golden Flame Palace had already opened the trial for its disciples. However, the trial was only for those below the 5th grade. The trial for those above the 5th grade would not be effective. Xianxia was cultivating on the top floor of the Golden Flame Palace. After a while, Xianxia and Gong Xian walked out of the Golden Flame Palace wearing a long robe with Dao patterns on it. When they saw Xianxia, they all bowed to greet him. Aoi, you have also entered the Void Inquiry stage. This is something worth celebrating. I have always been worried about you. Your temperament is too soft and you don't have enough motivation to cultivate. Now that you have entered the 5th grade, I am relieved. Xianxia looked at Aoi with a face full of smiles. It's my fault for making Master worry. Aoi bowed to Xianxia. Her eyes were filled with guilt. She knew that Xianxia had worried a lot about her. Be % original. Don't think too much. Master is very happy. 13. My last disciple has now become the strongest disciple of the 2nd generation in the Medicine Valley. Very good. It's only a matter of time before you enter the venerable realm. You should spend more time with me this time. Xianxu's eyes were filled with admiration while looking at Night Sorrow. The group then flew towards Danding Peak. Old Nine, you should quit being the city lord of Danding City. To others, being a city lord might be beneficial, but to you it's a burden, Xianxu said to Yang Lei as they flew. Disciple has long wanted to quit, but I didn't dare to say it out loud. I was afraid that Master would be disappointed. Yang Lei said with some embarrassment. That's nothing. I care about the prosperity of the Medicine Valley, but I also care about whether you guys are doing well or not. I can't reject Shirsan as the Deputy Valley Master. If I can, I will help to reject him, Xianxu said with a smile. It's fine, I don't have anything important to do, Night Sorrow said. Gong Xian, there's nothing you can do about this. Some things have to be shouldered. Lu Yangyu looked at Gong Xian and said. Let's go. Lu Yangyu looked at Gong Xian and said. Disciple understands. Don't worry, Master. I won't let you down. Gong Xian nodded. He knew his responsibility. Yangyu didn't bring everyone to Danding Hall. Instead, they went straight to Taishan Hall on Taishan Peak. When they arrived at Taishan Hall, after everyone greeted Yangyu, Night Sorrow walked to the center of the hall. Then he walked to Yangyu, who was sitting in the main seat, and bowed. Shirsan, if there's anything you need, just tell me. Yangyu was stunned. In his memory, Night Sorrow never bowed to anyone. Ai Go Xiao Say W. Chu, disciple asks Master to betroth ninth senior sister to me. Night Sorrow continued to bow. That's it? Master agrees. You bowed so formally that I was shocked. I thought you were in trouble. Yangyu stood up and helped Night Sorrow up with a smile. This is the betrothal gift. Night Sorrow took out the same betrothal gift that he had given when he went to the Sikong family to propose marriage. So formal. But that's good. I don't have any treasures. When the time comes, I still need to study your ninth senior sister's dowry. Also, when do you plan to hold the wedding? Let me know. Yangyu nodded and accepted Night Sorrow's betrothal gift. At this time, everyone in the hall congratulated Night Sorrow and Yang Lei. They also congratulated Yangyu because this was also a happy occasion for Yangyu. After chatting for a while, the group went to the small building in the bamboo forest to drink tea. However, they did not stay quiet. People kept coming to visit Yangyu. They were the elders and the peak lords of the various peaks. Yixiling also brought Tang Chanshan and Lin Jingyi to the small building in the bamboo forest. Valley Lord, our Medicine Valley has 12 peaks. But look at the situation of the Taishan Peak now. Gong Xian is at the 5th grade of the Void Inquiry stage, Wu Qi is at the 2nd grade of the Void Inquiry stage, Yang Lei is at the 5th grade of the Void Inquiry stage. Huan and the others are all at the Void Inquiry stage. Also, this Deputy Valley Lord who is not doing any work is already at the 8th grade of the Void Inquiry stage. This Taishan Peak alone is enough to defeat the other 11 peaks. Ziling, be quiet. There are some things that we can talk about slowly. Yen Beiji, who had been here for a while, said. When the peak lords of the various peaks learned that Yangyu had returned, all of them came to visit him. You all also know that I have been in seclusion all this while. I have never cared about the matters of the sect, nor have I done any favoritism. Do you all admit this? Yangyu looked at everyone and said. After hearing Yangyu's words, the others could only nod their heads because it was the truth. No one could deny it. The Taishan Peak is strong. This is because of the good leadership of Gong Xian, Wu Qi and the others. It is also because the disciples of the Taishan Peak have done well. This is also a fact, isn't it? Yangyu once again threw out a sentence. Senior Martial Brother, this won't do. If this continues, the Medicine Valley will be biased. The new disciples will only know about the Taishan Peak and not the other peaks. If this continues, things will get out of hand. Duan Lei said. I have taken in 13 good disciples. They are my pride. Now it seems that they are also my burden. Yangyu smiled bitterly. We are not here to make things difficult for the Valley Master. We just want to change the situation. Otherwise, the other 11 peaks will not be able to survive. This is also not good for the Medicine Valley. Yen Beiji sighed and said. Uncle Masters, we have been working hard to cultivate and win glory for the Medicine Valley. My 13th junior martial brother has even helped the Medicine Valley build a reputation. This is not a sin, right? Yang Lei thought for a moment and said. She did not want to see Yangyu in a difficult position. No, absolutely not. You're all good. 13th junior martial brother is the pride of the Medicine Valley. Everyone in the Medicine Valley knows this, and it will be recorded in the history books. Today we are here to ask and see how to change the situation. Yixiling said. Now that Yang Lei's cultivation was the same as hers, and Yang Lei was also an elder, she could not speak with seniority. I also have a headache. Yu knocked on the armrest of the chair. He did not know how to deal with it. He knew that the Medicine Valley was indeed like this at the moment. If this continued, it would become the Medicine Valley of the Taishan Peak. Deputy Valley Master Yi, don't you have any good ideas? Yi Xiling looked at Night Sorrow. After being called out by Yi Xiling, Night Sorrow was stunned for a moment and then said, Uncle Master Yi, please don't make fun of Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow has never cared about the matters of the Medicine Valley. He is young and ignorant, so he does not have any ideas, and he does not dare to have any ideas. Actually, we all know that the biggest reason for the change of the Taishan Peak is you. It's just that we can't ask for anything from you because the Medicine Valley owes you too much. Yi Xiling said. Uncle Master Yi, you are exaggerating. Night Sorrow cupped his hands and said. Chapter 574. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. At this moment, Lin Jingyi's heart was filled with emotions. She felt that she had worked very hard and had also cultivated to the peak of the spirit-severing stage. This speed was definitely outstanding in the Medicine Valley in the past. But what about now? Compared to the disciples of Taishan Peak, her achievements were nothing. In addition, Lin Jingyi also heard some words that struck her hard. Night Sorrow was at the 8th grade of the Void Inquiry stage. She knew very well what kind of concept that was. In other words, other than the two venerated beings in the Medicine Valley, Night Sorrow was already standing at the highest level. Vice Valley Master Yi, please forgive me. Please forgive Lin Jingyi's ignorance back then. Lin Jingyi bowed towards Night Sorrow. Senior Sister Lin, you're overthinking it. It's not a big deal. Night Sorrow waved his hand and used his energy to help Lin Jingyi up. Love, go little sake, unity of heaven and man? Yen Beifong looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. Most v. New chapter section, Vabov 7. The other peak masters were also stunned. All of their eyes were fixed on Night Sorrow. Their cultivation levels were not up to par, but their vision was still there. Night Sorrow's body did not move, nor did he release any energy. However, energy had appeared around Lin Jingyi. This was a fact. My 13th junior brother has already reached the unity of heaven and man realm. The only thing lacking is his cultivation base, Yang Lei said proudly. At this moment, the others didn't say anything. This was a very serious blow because it meant that Night Sorrow didn't have any bottlenecks when he entered the Exalt realm. It could be said that his path was smooth. Valley Master, I don't want to talk to them anymore. Let's talk about whether there are any good ideas to change the situation in the Medicine Valley. Yi Xiling said with a sigh. In the end, it's still a problem of resources. To be honest, the cultivation resources of my 13 disciples are all provided by 13. However, he alone can't provide for an entire sect. Besides, we don't have the face to do that. Yu said. He had also reached the most important point. Yu's words made everyone fall into deep thought because resources were the core of the problem. Master, I think we can start a pill business. This way we can exchange pills for ingredients. The profit margin is huge. Then, the ingredients will be turned into pills. Xianxia said. First of all, the business needs to be done. But what about the capital and channels? Yen Beibei rubbed his head and said. Okay. What I can offer is a bottle of void pills and 3 bottles of clear void pills for each peak. As for how you arrange it, whether you use it for business or directly give it to your disciples, I don't care. Please don't make things difficult for my master and Taishan Peak in the future. I will give the pills to my master tomorrow. Night Sorrow will take his leave. Night Sorrow didn't want to be entangled. He directly cupped his hands to the people present and left Qingxing courtyard with Yang Lei and Xikong. After Night Sorrow left, Aoi looked at the group of people and sighed. Peak masters are all seniors. Today's matter was too difficult for them. Aoi's words made everyone's faces turn red because that was the truth. Valley Master, I'm sorry. This was not our original intention. We came to ask how we can change the situation in the Medicine Valley, but now we have nowhere to put our old faces. Love, Gone Little, Say, Network, Chuan Tai, who had been silent all this time, spoke up. That's it. I won't stop Night Sorrow from providing the resources, but now you have to develop yourselves. Wuxi Taishan Peak will participate in the Medicine Valley's disciple recruitment ceremony once every 3 years, Yu said. This was also to give the other peaks a chance. Then the others left Qingxing courtyard. What we did today was too disgusting. What is this called? Xueqi, the peak master of Bailu Peak, said. If this continues, it will make people feel disgusted. Maybe Night Sorrow will be angry and not come back for a few years. In the future he won't care about the Medicine Valley's business anymore. Jean Can, the peak master of Tianyu Peak, who was the best at scheming, said. Yes, we are a bit too much. This won't do. Let's forget about today. Tomorrow we will gather early and go to Night Sorrow's place to solve this matter. Our intention was right, but we can't make people feel disgusted. Yi Xiling also nodded. Back at Bamboo Forest Peak, Night Sorrow began to organize the pills and ingredients. He had promised to do it, so he had to do it. Fortunately, Night Sorrow had entered the special space several times and accumulated a lot of ingredients. Otherwise he wouldn't be able to handle taking out pills like this. Yishang tidied up the materials and then refined them all into pills. After counting, Night Sorrow realized that he only had a few bottles of pills left after giving the 11 peaks all the pills and resources. Sigh. There are a lot of level 4 pills, but there aren't many level 5 pills. Fortunately we still have enough. In the future we still have to get more ingredients. Senior brother and senior sister have enough pills, but I still have to take care of the god-slaying team, Night Sorrow said. 13 I am a little angry. What are they doing? Are they trying to squeeze you dry? Yang Lei said angrily. Ninth senior sister, you are overthinking. They are doing this for the sake of Medicine Valley. Their intention is not wrong. Also, I am providing the resources for no other reason than to not put Master in a difficult position. Anyway, the three of us don't lack any resources. I also left enough for senior brother and senior sister, so I won't be calculative about this, Night Sorrow said, explaining the reason why he was willing to take on this matter. Okay, I understand. Yang Lei nodded. After putting away the alchemy furnace, the three of them went into the bamboo house to rest. Returning to Bamboo Forest Peak was the most relaxing time for them. Early in the morning, when Night Sorrow was practicing his spear techniques, the various peak masters of Medicine Valley clustered around Jianghu. You guys are really early. Don't worry, my junior brother will definitely do what he promised. Looking at the group of people, Yang Lei was angry. Elder Yang, you misunderstood. We are not here to ask for the pills. Yesterday's matter was our fault. Not only did we not help Night Sorrow, we even squeezed Night Sorrow dry. This is not right. Today we are here to apologize. Yen Beibei and the others bowed to Night Sorrow. Martial Uncle Yen, you are too serious. What I can do is limited. However, I will do what I can. Last night, I boiled for a while and refined all the materials into pills. I did not break my promise to you martial uncles. Night Sorrow took out his storage belt and placed it on the table in front of him. 13 There may be a misunderstanding. The peak masters just want to change the situation. They are not trying to make things difficult for Master, nor are they trying to ask for resources, Yu said. Then Disciple will also contribute these pills to the sect. As for the sect's arrangement, Disciple will not care. Night Sorrow said. What do you guys think? Yu looked at the peak masters and asked. We can't take advantage of this. How about this? 13 We should call you Deputy Valley Master. Deputy Valley Master has a lot of connections outside. Let's see if you can promote the pill business of our Medicine Valley. This way it will be easier for our Medicine Valley to develop. Our peaks have also discussed and agreed to do this resource business together. Yi Xiling said. Okay, I will go back and talk to my friends. This should not be a problem. It is a win-win situation. Night Sorrow nodded. He was satisfied with the attitude of the peak masters today. Chapter 575. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Then, everyone began to discuss the expansion of Medicine Valley's resources. In the end, it was decided that Yi Xiling would follow Night Sorrow with the representatives of the disciples from each peak to open up the resource route in the Medicine Valley. She was a woman, so she had more advantages in communicating with others. After the discussion was over, those who were supposed to leave left. No one wanted to accept Night Sorrow's pills, but Night Sorrow insisted on giving them. They only accepted half of the money to expand their resources. This way Night Sorrow still had enough pills. Originally, everyone didn't want Night Sorrow's medicinal resources, but the average medicinal pills weren't that valuable. Only the Tier 5 medicinal pills were valuable, so it was worth the trade. After the marriage proposal was settled, Night Sorrow planned to leave. The main reason was that the expansion of the Medicine Valley's resources was urgent. Yi Xiling brought Lin Jingyi along. She left the matter of crepe myrtle to her eldest disciple, Tang Qianxian. Yi Xiling brought Lin Jingyi along to broaden her horizons. After all, Lin Jingyi was crepe myrtle's most outstanding disciple. Traveling with Night Sorrow, Lin Jingyi felt a little awkward. After all, she had hurt Night Sorrow before. To put it bluntly, she didn't like Night Sorrow. But Lin Jingyi knew in her heart that it wasn't like that at all. She hadn't rejected him back then but had considered it. There was also a woman's modesty in it. In addition, the conflict had arisen because Yi Shang had never taken a liking to her. Baidu search AI go female xianxia say www.ichuxs. Siom taking the teleportation array, the group arrived at Dongshan City. Night Sorrow brought the group to Qingxin Cottage. After finishing the welcoming banquet, Night Sorrow brought everyone for a stroll around the mansion. They were also going to meet up with the God-slaying squad. Because in the previous Tianji Tower team, there were disciples of Holy Light Religion, Thunder Rumbling School and Southern Dipper School. Medicine Valley could cooperate with the three parties. After Night Sorrow's arrival, the members of the God-slaying team, who were in the midst of cultivation, quickly gathered up and greeted Night Sorrow. Everyone be at ease. I'm just here to take a look. Liu, do you guys have enough resources? Night Sorrow said after waving his hand. Captain, don't worry. We have enough resources. Nan Liu nodded. You guys come with me. I have something I need your help with, Night Sorrow called out to the original members of Tianji Tower. Then, Night Sorrow made tea and told them about his request for help. Captain, you're in the wrong here. What kind of help is this? I'll go back and tell the sect to arrange a shop for you in the best location in Holy Light City, Ho Jian said. Captain, since you've asked, then there's definitely no problem. I'll go back and talk to the law enforcement elder later to make arrangements for you guys in Thunder City, Lei Bao said. Nan Liu also expressed that there was no problem. I'll make a trip to the Star Cloud sect. As for the Scarlet Cloud sect and the Free and Unfettered sect, forget it. I'm not familiar with them, so I won't stick my hot face to their cold asses, Night Sorrow said. Then Ho Jian and the others brought the representatives of the disciples of the Medicine Valley back to their respective sections. Martial Uncle Yi, let's go to the Star Cloud sect and see if they'll give us face, Night Sorrow said. Then Night Sorrow brought Yi Xiling and Lin Jingyi to the Star Cloud sect through teleportation. After Night Sorrow reported his name, the sect master of the Star Cloud sect, xuanhuan, personally received him. After Night Sorrow told him his idea, xuanhuan agreed very much. He even said that he would find the best shop for the Medicine Valley in Star Cloud City. The Star Cloud sect had suffered heavy losses in the last Dark Creature disaster. If they wanted to recover, elixir resources were indispensable. The Medicine Valley was best at alchemy. After talking for a while, Night Sorrow brought Yi Xiling and Lin Jingyi back to the Qingxin courtyard in Dongshan City. Martial Uncle Yi, the situation is going well. Also, it's not difficult to get the elixir business in the Qingtian region's Bailing City. I went to the Xikong family to propose marriage some time ago, so we're relatives there, Night Sorrow said as he walked in front. Then when will we go there? Yi Xiling was very excited because the trip to the Star Cloud sect with Night Sorrow went very smoothly. She was looking forward to what was to come next. Night Sorrow doesn't need to take this. This is my family's identity token. Martial Uncle Yi can take this token to the Xikong family to find my father. This is a mutually beneficial cooperation. My father won't object. Xikong Chuyu, who came out to greet them, took out an identity token and handed it to Yi Xiling. Plus with head/hair X. Great, this is really great. Yi Xiling was very excited. If this went on, the Medicine Valley's resource business could be done. In that case, the Medicine Valley wouldn't lack elixir resources in the future, and it would be much easier to develop. Night Sorrow, when you have time, you can talk to City Lord Tai Shu. It's not a problem for the Medicine Valley's elixir business to expand to the North Sea region, Xikong Chuyu reminded Night Sorrow. It's not suitable for the time being because the Medicine Valley doesn't have such a large foundation of resources. It has to be operated for a while first. Night Sorrow shook his head. Who's City Lord Tai Shu? Lin Jingyi asked curiously. The City Lord of Beihai City in the North Sea region. She's the #1 figure in the North Sea region. If she asks, it won't be a problem for the Medicine Valley's elixirs to enter the North Sea region. A furnace of elixirs in exchange for 3 times the amount of information. This business is too profitable, Xikong Chuyu said. 30. Deputy Valley Lord, you know the City Lord of Beihai City? Yi Xiling asked excitedly. Yes, I call her Martial Uncle. Night Sorrow nodded. You've already made a name for yourself in just a few years, Yi Xiling said with a sigh. However, Martial Uncle, you're going to have to work hard. After the Medicine Valley's business opens, the supply of elixirs must not be out of stock. The quality must also be acceptable. Don't let it affect our reputation, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Don't worry about that. Even if the disciples of the Medicine Valley don't eat elixirs for a few months, Martial Uncle will still expand this business, Yi Xiling said with great confidence. I forgot one thing. I forgot to go to Pill Ding Cliff when I went back this time. Night Sorrow rubbed his head and said. Originally, Night Sorrow planned to go to Pill Ding Cliff. However, he forgot about it because he was too anxious to find a way out for the 11 peaks of the Medicine Valley. You have to pay attention to this matter. You must go there before you reach the peak of the Void Inquiry stage. This is your chance and also the Medicine Valley's only chance right now, Yi Xiling said. She knew that Hua Yunpeng and the Great Elder attached great importance to this matter. I understand. Martial Uncle Yi, please go and have a rest. I reckon that the Sacred Light Sect, the Thunder Rumbling Sect and the Southern Dipper Sect will have to wait for news. They haven't returned for a long time. Once they return, they will need at least 2 to 3 days to communicate with their seniors. Night Sorrow said to Yi Xiling. After nodding at Night Sorrow, Yi Xiling brought Lin Jingyi to the guest room. Master, Deputy Valley Lord Yi has already reached such a high level that he can get to know the city lord of the royal city? Lin Jingyi still had not recovered from the shock. Yes. He has been fighting outside for the past few years and has already made a name for himself. It's been hard on him. In fact, he's still a child. Yi Xiling sighed with emotion. Chapter 576. Geniuses remember love in 1 second? We provide you with interesting novels to read. Yes. Vice Valley Master Yi is currently at the Venerable Realm. Yi Xiling nodded. Isn't it said that cultivation levels are the hardest to cultivate? Many Void Inquiry stage cultivators have been stuck at the peak of the Void Inquiry stage for countless years because their cultivation base was not high enough. Why can't they touch the threshold of the Venerable Realm? Why did his cultivation base reach the Venerable Realm before his cultivation base? Lin Jingyi's face was filled with bewilderment because this had overturned her view of cultivation. That's the common sense. However, some people, or rather, some geniuses and extraordinary talents, cannot be judged as ordinary people. Vice Valley Master Night Sorrow is such a person. It won't be long before he becomes a Venerable Realm cultivator. Moreover, he will be a Venerable Realm cultivator with a title in the future. Yi Xiling said. Venerable Realm cultivator with a title? What does that mean? Lin Jingyi asked in confusion. Venerable Realm cultivators are rare, but there are still some who can reach it. There aren't many Venerable Realm cultivators in our Eastern Xian region, but there are still many in the other regions. Venerable Realm cultivators with extremely strong combat power will be given a title. In the ancient times, there was a Heaven Sealing Palace in the vast Heaven Imperial City of our 9 regions world. Cultivators with strength will be given a title if they are recognized by the Heaven Sealing Palace. Although the Heaven Sealing Palace and vast Heaven Imperial City have disappeared together, this tradition still exists. It's just that they need to be recognized by cultivators. This is something that Vice Valley Master Yi can achieve because he has always had the combat power to fight above his level and realm. Yi Xiling explained some unknown stories to Lin Jingyi. Master, I also want to work hard. However, I can't understand his path. Lin Jingyi said in a low voice. How many people can understand his path? I can't do it either. Today we saw the team under his command. There are nearly 40 people in the team and only 2 of them are not at the Void Inquiry stage. With such strength, they can easily defeat any sect in the Eastern Xian region without the interference of Venerable Realm cultivators. Judging from the qi on their bodies, they are all people who have walked out from slaughter. Back then I already knew that he wasn't an ordinary person, but I still underestimated him. There were some things that I didn't predict, Yi Xiling said with some regret. Ever since the first time she had seen Night Sorrow, Yi Xiling had spared no effort in trying to pull Night Sorrow to Crepe Myrtle. She had done so because she felt that Night Sorrow would have a bright future. But she had never imagined that in just a few years, Night Sorrow had already made such great achievements. His influence had already spread throughout the Eastern Xian region. 2 days later, Ho Jian and the others returned. The matter had been handled very smoothly. The other great sects did not have any objections. In fact, they were all in agreement. Medicinal pills were the most important resource in any force. Every force had their own pill refinement masters. However, because they did not have any pill refinement inheritance, they could only refine low-grade medicinal pills. There were almost no pill refinement masters who could refine 5th-grade medicinal pills. If they needed high-grade medicinal pills, they would have to travel hundreds of thousands of li to Eastern Xian City with the materials to exchange for them with pill refinement masters. Some even had to cross the domain sea to trade with other regions. Now that the Medicine Valley wanted to expand its medicinal pill business, it was a win-win situation. No one would object. Everyone ate dinner together. Lin Jingyi and the other disciples of the Medicine Valley were a little reserved. The Medicine Valley that they had stayed in before was still a little small. This time they came out to broaden their horizons. Knight Sorrow poured Yi Xiling a cup of wine and said, "Martial Uncle Yi, you don't have to worry about the expansion of the Medicine Valley's medicinal pill business. What we need to consider is how to do it well. If we can make some connections in the Eastern Shen realm, I'll talk to the people in the North Sea. I think we can expand our medicinal pill business into the North Sea. Besides, I have some connections in the realm of unbounded desolation. It shouldn't be a problem for me to make a trip there." Yi Xiling's hand, which was holding the cup of wine, trembled slightly. "You know people in the realm of unbounded desolation?" Knight Sorrow nodded and said, "Yeah. I met the governor of Grand Desolation City some time ago. The governor of Roaring Tiger City is a forthright person. He even invited me to have a drink with him in the realm of unbounded desolation. As long as we don't harm the interests of the realm of unbounded desolation, I don't think he'll object." Yi Xiling felt a little numb. The strength of Knight Sorrow's network had already exceeded her expectations. After drinking the wine, Knight Sorrow went to cultivate. Now that his network had been established, there was nothing for him to do. Besides, he didn't have the energy to deal with these things. Yi Xiling left with the disciples of the Medicine Valley. Now that their network had been established, the Medicine Valley would have to act quickly. Now that all the major forces had given them face, it would be up to the Medicine Valley to decide how to do their business. Yi Shan cultivated diligently every day. Occasionally he would help Yang Lei give pointers to her disciples. Other than that, he would communicate with the members of the God-slaying squad. Ho Qingjie had already reached the peak of the spirit-severing stage. Yi Shan knew that the average cultivation of the God-slaying squad had stimulated him. He was also arrogant. Back then he was slightly weaker than Lei Bao and Lei Zheng. It was normal for him to catch up. "Qingjie, be steady. The fifth stage is a dividing line. It's better to be steady. We're all brothers. No one cares about the level of your cultivation base," Knight Sorrow reminded Ho Qingjie. "Thank you, Captain. Lei Bao told me about this when we were drinking. I was a little impatient in the past." Ho Qingjie gave Lei Bao a thumbs up. Knight Sorrow looked at Qin Zhen. "I'm not just saying this to Qingjie. I'm also saying this to you. Although it's important to improve your cultivation base quickly, you have to be steady. I don't want any problems to happen to you." Qin Zhen smiled and nodded at Knight Sorrow. There were more brothers around him and more people to chat with. Qin Zhen was much more cheerful. Captain Qin Zhen is no longer a taciturn person. He also knows how to chat with everyone, Ho Jian said with a smile. "Then I'm relieved. Qin Zhen, you're the youngest in the team. If you have any questions, just let us know," Knight Sorrow said again and left. "Actually, I'm about the same age as Captain. It's hard to say who's older, but in my heart, he's my 13th brother," Qin Zhen said as he looked in the direction Knight Sorrow left. Ho Jian patted Qin Zhen's shoulder. He knew how close Knight Sorrow and Qin Zhen were. Back then, Qin Zhen was willing to stand up for Knight Sorrow and face his cousin together. This was very heartwarming for the young and lonely Knight Sorrow. Sometimes things didn't need to be big. As long as it was heartwarming, he would never forget it for the rest of his life. Read novels for free. Knight Sorrow also took extra care of Qin Zhen. As the years passed, their brotherhood would only grow deeper. Age doesn't matter. We're much older than Captain. Isn't Captain the one taking care of us?" Xueling said as he walked over. "Vice Captain, did you know that the other Blood Strike Guards have been mobilized? It seems like they're preparing for the sector war. However, it has nothing to do with us," Xuefei said. "Why are you so excited? How can there be a battle without us? It's true that we used to be a reserve team, but who dares to treat us like that now? Besides, don't mention this in the future. We're the God-slaying team. Our missions are only given by Captain. We're not in the same battle order as the others," Xueling said as he looked at Xuefei. Chapter 577. Genius 1 second. Remember, love, go. Little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Don't worry. Our mission is more important than theirs. They are just guarding their territory. We are conquering the world. The purpose of our existence is to make the Eastern Xian domain famous with our captain," Xueling said. "Let's go," Xueling said. Knight Sorrow cultivated for a few days and met the people from the Medicine Valley again. This time there were more people from the Medicine Valley. Jianghu and several peak masters were there. Jianghu came to see how his disciples were doing. The other peak masters came with resources and spirit stones. They wanted to expand the Medicine Valley's business. After Yi Shang held a banquet to entertain the guests, The peak masters left to deal with the resource expansion business. Master, what about our Taishan peak? Taishan peak also needs resources. 13 only cares about us. What about the other disciples? Yang Lei asked anxiously. It doesn't matter. They have already discussed it. Taishan peak doesn't need to worry. The resources earned from the resource expansion will be divided equally among the 12 peaks, Yu said with a smile. Night Sorrow and Yang Lei were relieved. Taishan peak was what they cared about the most, so they were afraid that the Taishan peak would suffer losses. 13 I came to see you. I am relieved to see that you are doing well, Yu said after looking at Night Sorrow's mansion. Master, I am not a child anymore. I have grown up. You don't have to worry about me, Night Sorrow said as he poured a cup of tea for Yu. Even if you have become a saint, you are still a child in my eyes. I still have to worry about you, Yu said. Night Sorrow nodded. He understood the feelings in Yu's heart. It was a master-disciple relationship that he could never let go of. Also, you have to make a trip to Danding Cliff as soon as possible. Your current level is enough. Don't lose the chance to own the 8-dragon cauldron if you accidentally break through one day, Yu reminded Night Sorrow. Master, actually, 13 doesn't need the 8-dragon cauldron to recognize him as its master anymore. He now has the #1 spiritual treasure of the Qingtian domain to protect him. He plans to go to Danding Cliff to communicate with the 8-dragon cauldron for the sake of the Medicine Valley, Yang Lei said. After that, Yang Lei told him about Night Sorrow's situation and everything that had happened recently. Yu thought for a moment and said to Night Sorrow, so that's how it is. You still have to go. It's not a burden to have too many treasures. Master, I don't need it. I'll see if I can communicate with the artifact spirit and let it recognize you as its master so that it can contribute to the Medicine Valley, Night Sorrow said. That's difficult. Spiritual treasures with artifact spirits are all arrogant. It will only recognize people who it thinks can help it rise and not let it down. In addition, spiritual treasures with artifact spirits cannot be transferred, Yu said. Soon after, Night Sorrow also received a message from Shao Kong. The truth was that the artifact spirit would only recognize those who didn't disgrace them. Others wouldn't have this opportunity. If they wanted to forcefully convert the artifact spirit, they would have to kill the artifact spirit's intelligence, which was equivalent to destroying a high-grade spirit treasure. Then I'll go back and communicate with the 8-dragon cauldron first, Night Sorrow said. That's fine. Yu nodded. He liked Night Sorrow's state of mind that was not affected by external things. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow went to cultivate. He did not have any bottlenecks when he entered the Venerable Realm. The only thing he lacked was cultivation and time to accumulate cultivation. Ninth brother, your 13th brother is good at everything, but he's simple-minded. You have to help him check. Take the 8-dragon cauldron for example. What's wrong with getting it? Sometimes, such persistence is unnecessary, Yu said as he watched Night Sorrow leave. Master, 13 is sometimes stubborn. He has his own persistence in his heart. This doesn't make sense, Yang Lei said. That's true. This is his character. It's an advantage in human nature, but it's also easy for him to be taken advantage of, Yu said as he shook his head. Perhaps it's because of this that his heart is not stained by a trace of dust. This is also the reason why his state of mind is clear. This is also quite good, Yang Lei said. There are no flaws in human nature. He can stand upright at any time and be worthy of heaven and earth. Then let's not talk about it. Let nature take its course. Yu said after thinking for a while. Master, don't worry. 13 is quite suitable for adventuring outside. His mind is pure, but he's not stupid, Yang Lei said with a smile. If he's stupid, can you approve of him? Yu said with a smile. After cultivating the foundation for an entire night, Night Sorrow woke up early to cultivate his spear technique. Although he already had the realm, if he did not cultivate his spear technique for a day, Night Sorrow would feel that something was missing and would feel uncomfortable all over. Forever Free, read #novels. MPU Yang could not give Night Sorrow any pointers at the moment. He could only watch from the side and chat with Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu. Now Yu felt that his life was perfect. The Medicine Valley was already on the right track and had entered the ranks of the super forces in Eastern Profound Domain. As for himself, he had also entered the ranks of the high-level cultivators. The most important thing was that each of his 13 disciples had done well. Yu nodded as he looked at Night Sorrow, who had finished cultivating his spear technique and walked over. 13. After listening to your eldest senior brother's introduction, your 12th senior brother is very interested in your team. He said that he will look for you after he reaches the 5th stage and wants to join your team, Jianghu said as he looked at Night Sorrow. That's not very appropriate. Night Sorrow shook his head, feeling a little awkward. The god-slaying team was currently carrying out his orders. If Guan Yi came, Night Sorrow would feel uncomfortable commanding them. After all, seniority was seniority. It was not appropriate for a junior to command a senior. Master understands your concerns. This matter will indeed cause you trouble. Master is just asking. Let's talk about it later. Jianghu said after thinking for a moment. Jianghu thought for a moment and understood the reason. If Guan Yi as a senior joined Night Sorrow's team, Night Sorrow would feel uncomfortable commanding them. After all, he was different from Yang Lei and Xikong Chiu. Master, this won't be too difficult, right? I'll talk to 12 when the time comes, Yang Lei said. It's fine. If he joins the team, 13 will have to take care of him and stand in front of him. But for Master, both are important, Jianghu said. That was the truth. Guan Yi had fallen once, so neither Yang Lei nor Night Sorrow would let anything happen to him again. The consequences would be Night Sorrow and Yang Lei bearing the risk. Jianghu stayed in Qingxing Cottage for a few days until the Peak Masters returned from their errands. Then he led a group of people back to Medicine Valley. After seeing off Jianghu and the people from Medicine Valley, Night Sorrow sat down and thought quietly. He was considering whether he should follow Jianghu's suggestion and return to Medicine Valley to take a look at Danding Cliff or go to the Realm Sea to take a look at the situation there. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow decided to go to the Realm Sea first to take a look at the situation there. The matter at Danding Cliff was not urgent. Chapter 578. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go divided by Xiao? Xuanhuan provides you with wonderful novels to read. Since he could use the teleportation array, it was very convenient for Night Sorrow to move around. After 15 minutes, Night Sorrow walked out of West Sea City's teleportation array. Baidu search Love Go female sign Xiao Xua www.ux. So I'm riding on the Qianhu, Night Sorrow arrived at the battlefield in the Realm Sea. Looking at the solemn but orderly camp, Night Sorrow didn't stop. He directly went to the mountain where Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao were cultivating. Night Sorrow saw Wu Lingfei, Lin Yuandao and Hua Haining. Ling Long was also there. You're here. Wu Lingfei nodded. Aunt Fei, Lord K, Elder Hua, Senior Sister Ling Long. Night Sorrow greeted them. Night Sorrow, you're here. I have something to tell you. Baidu search Love Go female sign Xiao Xua www.ux.com, Wu Lingfei said. Then Wu Lingfei told Night Sorrow that Guxiao had broken through and was stabilizing his cultivation. Latrin Xuan was currently using the Source Stone. Night Sorrow, you've brought a new era to Tianji Tower, Hua Haining said. Elder Hua, I'm very sorry. Night Sorrow bowed to Hua Haining in embarrassment. He had helped a few people from Tianji Tower, but he hadn't helped Hua Haining. What are you saying? Tianji Tower being strong is better than anything else. Also, you should go to Heaven Vault Mountain when you have time and let those elders get to know you, Hua Haining said. Night Sorrow nodded. Director Gua has successfully broken through. If elderly can also break through, the situation will change. That's why we're not afraid of stalling for time. Also, Ling Long wants to join your god-slaying squad. What do you think? Wu Lingfei asked Night Sorrow. No, the god-slaying team is a team from our Eastern Shen region. Senior Sister Ling Long has nothing to do with it, Night Sorrow rejected without hesitation. Isn't it good for everyone to fight side by side? Exquisite asked, frowning at Night Sorrow. Not good. Everyone has different ideals. If Tianji Tower needs me, I will do my best to do it. At other times, I am a member of the Eastern Shen region. The dream of our god-slaying team is to conquer the world and let everyone know that there is a Eastern Shen region in the 9 regions and 18 prefectures. This idea has nothing to do with you. Night Sorrow's rejection was resolute and decisive, leaving no room for negotiation. Lin Yuandao and Hua Haining were stunned for a moment. They shook their heads and didn't say anything. They could tell that Night Sorrow wouldn't back down. Can't I help you fight? Exquisite asked. No. Right now the Eastern Shen region is weak, but that's only for now. I believe that as time passes this will change. There is no need for others to help you with what you can do yourself. Baidu search Love Gong Xiao Xua www.ux.com, Night Sorrow said. Can I fight for the Eastern Shen region in the future? Are you deliberately trying to make life difficult for me? Yi Shan's repeated rejection made Exquisite's anger rise. Night Sorrow, you should reconsider this matter. In any case, the focus of our Tianji Tower will be in the Eastern Shen region in the future. It's not bad for the two of you to fight side by side, Hua Haining said with a smile. The god-slaying team has already been formed. If senior sister Linglong wants to join, it will be very difficult for me to deal with it. It will cause a lot of trouble, Night Sorrow said, somewhat conflicted. Linglong Night Sorrow is the commander of that team and he leads it very well. If you join, it will indeed cause some inconvenience for Night Sorrow, Lin Yuandao said. I want to join but I don't want to be the captain. I will just be like an ordinary member. I will do what others do. Exquisite bowed to Lin Yuandao. Night Sorrow, what do you think? Lin Yuandao looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I want to be responsible for my brothers and sisters. When we are in battle, if a brother is in danger, the other brothers will not hesitate to block the blade. If senior sister Linglong can do it, then I welcome you. If not, then sorry, there is no room for discussion, Night Sorrow said. Linglong, think about it again. This is not a joke, Wu Lingfei said. Master Wu Ke Linglong has thought it through. Linglong likes the atmosphere of the god-slaying team. With such a group of brothers, Linglong will not be lonely in this life. Linglong does not want to give up such an opportunity. Linglong bowed to Wu Lingfei. Then Night Sorrow welcomes senior sister Linglong on behalf of the god-slaying team. Hearing Linglong's words, Night Sorrow's heart was touched because Linglong wanted a partner to fight side by side. This was understandable. Thank you, junior brother Night. Linglong nodded to Night Sorrow. There is another news for the two of you. There is another member from the Taiching domain who passed the Heavens 5-star test. When he becomes the Heavens Terminus envoy, you will have another partner, Hua Haining said with a smile. This is a good thing. Our Qinji Tower needs outstanding young people, Wu Lingfei said. I don't believe there is a young man more outstanding than junior brother Night, Linglong said. Senior sister Linglong, please don't say that. There is always someone better than you. Night Sorrow hurriedly shook his head. Junior brother is really modest, but what you said makes sense. Linglong nodded. Night Sorrow, this is the opinion of the predecessors. What you need to do is to reach the top of the mountain. Lin Yuandao said. He planned to let Night Sorrow become the young master, so he didn't want Night Sorrow to lose his momentum. Look at the original chapter T section $3. I've never thought about reaching the top of the mountain, but no matter how high the mountain is, I will climb it. No matter how high the mountain is, there will always be someone who can climb it. Night Sorrow spoke his thoughts. Ah, well said. Hua Haining clapped his hands. He liked Night Sorrow's spirit of never giving up. All right then, there is nothing for the two of you to do here. Go back to the Eastern Shen domain and cultivate. Wu Lingfei said. Linglong, after you go there, take care of yourself. Don't make things difficult for your junior brother Night. Lin Yuandao reminded Linglong. Don't worry, K-Master. Linglong will take care of herself and won't make things difficult for junior brother Night. Linglong bowed to Lin Yuandao and the others. Following that, Night Sorrow left the Realm Sea battlefield with Linglong. Junior brother Night, I feel that you are somewhat rejecting me. Can you tell me why? I know that it is definitely not because we are both celestial extremity emissaries, but because we are competitors. If you don't care about this position, then I don't care either. Linglong asked while riding her mount. It's not rejection, but because I don't understand. That's why I don't want to communicate with you. Now that I understand you, there won't be such a situation in the future. Night Sorrow said. You don't understand my situation. I come from a large family, but due to some special reasons I don't have any friends. So I yearn to be like you, to have brothers and friends who can share my burden. What others can do for me, I can do the same. Linglong said. Chapter 579. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? I'll provide you with interesting novels to read. I'm relieved to hear that. You've truly accepted me. Exquisite opened her mouth and said. Let's go, Exquisite said. You're reading on novel full thanks. I'm not a hypocrite and I don't say things that go against my heart. Things are what they are, Night Sorrow said with a smile. That's why I admire you, junior brother, Exquisite said with a smile. As they chatted, the two returned to the Eastern Shen region and arrived at Qingxin Villa. Senior sister, why don't you go back and rest first? I'll take you there later? Night Sorrow asked Exquisite after entering Qingxin Villa. I don't want to live alone anymore. Since I've joined the God-slaying squad, I hope to be like them. Only then can they receive me sincerely. I also hope to gain their recognition through my own efforts. Love go little sake, Chu Linglong said. Ah, that's good too. Their living conditions are pretty good. Night Sorrow smiled and brought Exquisite to the resting and cultivating area of the God-slaying squad. Clapping his hands, Night Sorrow gathered the members of the God-slaying squad who were cultivating. Night Sorrow directly said that Exquisite wanted to join the God-slaying squad, but he didn't mention her identity. That would make the members of the god-slaying squad feel unapproachable. Exquisite then stood up and expressed that she was willing to do anything for her brother. She was willing to take a blow for him. Liua Exquisite is a woman and has just joined the squad. There are a lot of things that she's not familiar with. Can you help her make arrangements? Night Sorrow called out to Nan Liua. Exquisite, how old are you? Are you an older or younger sister? What's your cultivation? Nan Liua asked with a smile. Beauty Exquisite, do you have a boyfriend? Lei Jing asked with a grin. I don't have a boyfriend, but if you want to be my boyfriend, your cultivation must surpass mine and your combat strength must be higher than mine. Brother, you have to work hard, Exquisite said to Lei Jing. I like women who have their own ideas. Then let me ask you, Exquisite, what's your cultivation? Lei Jing asked. I don't want to discourage you, but you don't stand a chance. Work hard. If you work hard, it will be easier for you to pursue other girls in the future, Ling Long said with a smile. Ah, I have a big heart. Everyone in the god-slaying squad knows that. You won't be able to hurt me, Lei Jing said with a laugh. Little brother, you have to change your target. Pretty boys aren't my cup of tea. Liua, bring me to a place to stay. Exquisite waved at Lei Jing before she called Nan Liua and left. Gigolo. I'm a gigolo? Captain's face is much paler than mine. Lei Jing rubbed his nose and said. These sisters used to be Captain's friends. They are very strong. I can't even see their cultivation bases. So you should take it easy, Ho Jian said, patting Lei Jing's shoulder. Vice Captain, you are a third-level Void Inquiry stage expert. Can't you see it? Isn't that at least the 7th level of the Void Inquiry stage? Holy shit. He's a great expert. Lei Jing exclaimed in shock. Do you think our deicide squad is a pig farm? Even a captain? Lei Bao asked. Let's not talk about this anymore. I'm going to cultivate. Lei Jing took a deep breath and said. He was joking with Ling Long, but he was also shocked by Exquisite's cultivation base. Back in the backyard, Night Sorrow drank tea while telling the two girls about Exquisite's situation. He also told them about Exquisite's attitude and personality. We'll go say hello later. Since we've accepted her, we should act like it, Yang Lei said. After dinner, Night Sorrow brought the two girls to the god-slaying squad's cultivation area. The two girls went to chat with Exquisite and Nan Liua. Night Sorrow communicated with Ho Jian and the others. Night Sorrow also told Ho Jian and Xueling that he would be away for a few days. Ho Jian and Xueling had also gotten used to such situations because they knew that Night Sorrow had a lot of things to deal with. Also, ask the brothers who want to go home and see if there are any difficulties in their families. If any of them are in trouble, we will help them to solve it so that they don't have to worry about anything. Night Sorrow said to Ho Jian and Xueling, We've neglected that. Ho Jian said with slight embarrassment. It's nothing. Just deal with it well. Also, if any of you have any juniors in your families that you're worried about, make arrangements for them. Rely on our connections, we'll recommend them to your respective sections. Night Sorrow said. After giving the instructions, Night Sorrow did not wait for the two girls. He went back to the backyard and played with Xianhu and the Silver Fox. Xianhu had already reached the 6th level of the Void Inquiry stage while the Silver Fox had also reached the 7th level of the Divine Severing Realm. Night Sorrow was quite envious of them because they could improve their cultivation bases while playing and sleeping. Night Sorrow played with the two beasts for a while. When he was making tea, Yang Lei and Xikong Chuyu came back. S5 original/C version U, how is it? Is Exquisite doing well over there? Night Sorrow asked. She's very adaptable. She's not a flower vase. She's quite good. Xikong Chuyu said with a smile. I'm going back to the Medicine Valley to Pill Cauldron Cliff tomorrow. The two of you should communicate more with the members of the God-slaying team. Night Sorrow said to the two girls. Then we won't go back with you. We really need to integrate into the team. Otherwise, everyone will only see us as the leader's women instead of teammates who can fight side by side. Yang Lei nodded. After that, Night Sorrow pulled the two girls into the main building. One night passed. Night Sorrow glanced at Yang Lei and Xikong Chuyu who were meditating. Then he went out of the room and rode Xianhu to the teleportation formation. Sitting in the teleportation formation, they arrived at Pill Cauldron City. After taking a look at the Golden Flame Palace, Night Sorrow rode Xianhu directly to Pill Cauldron Peak. This time he did not plan to disturb anyone. He just wanted to go to Pill Cauldron Cliff and try to communicate with the weapon spirit of the 8-Dragon Cauldron. Seeing Night Sorrow's arrival, Elder Su was very happy. Night Sorrow let Xianhu play at the side while he drank with Elder Su. After drinking a jar of wine, Night Sorrow was about to start climbing the cliff. Wait, are you going to reach the highest height now? Elder Su looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Yes, I'm going to try. Night Sorrow did not hide it from Elder Su. Then Elder Su let out a long whistle and told all the Medicine Valley disciples on Pill Cauldron Cliff to come down. In addition, no one was allowed to climb the cliff. After a while, all the Medicine Valley disciples on Pill Cauldron Cliff came down. Pill Cauldron Cliff had been cleared. You can start now, Elder Su said to Night Sorrow seriously. Sorry to disturb everyone. Night Sorrow turned around and cupped his hands to the Medicine Valley disciples. Then Night Sorrow began to climb the cliff. In the past he used to climb the cliff with both his hands and feet. But now he did not need to. Every time he exerted force on his feet, he rushed a few feet high. It was considered flying, not climbing. Elder, who is this person? Who climbs Pill Cauldron Cliff like this? A disciple who had joined the sect for 2 years asked. Chapter 580. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. He's so young. I can't see his cultivation level, a female disciple from the Medicine Valley said. At this moment, a group of disciples from the Medicine Valley were discussing Night Sorrow's ascent of Danding Cliff. You're not the only one who can't see clearly. I can't see clearly either. The two of you are from the enforcement team, right? Guard this place and don't allow anyone to climb the cliff. The rest of you follow me to the opposite scenic mountain. We might witness a miracle today. Elder Su instructed the 2 enforcement disciples and asked a few people to inform the peak masters to come to Danding Cliff. Then he walked towards Scenic Mountain. At this moment, Night Sorrow's feet were several feet high as he rushed towards the top of Danding Cliff. 2,000 meters, 3,000 meters. Night Sorrow quickly flew and reached 5,000 meters. After drinking a mouthful of wine at 5,000 meters, Night Sorrow carried the wine jar and continued to climb. Elder Su, does our Medicine Valley have such a young disciple who can reach 5,000 meters without resting and continue climbing? A male disciple with a fuller body asked. Xuanhuan, you're very outstanding. You entered the elixir list after 3 years. You should know a name, Elder Su said as he turned around and looked at the disciple named Xuanhuan. A name? A name that I should know? Could it be Deputy Valley Master Yi who never appears? Xuanhuan thought for a moment and said in surprise. Love go little say W. Chu, you're not stupid. When Deputy Valley Master Yi just entered the 5th level, he climbed to 7,000 meters. Does he need to rest now that he's at 5,000 meters? Elder Su said. Then all the peak masters from the Medicine Valley came. They were originally having a meeting to discuss the issue of resource expansion. After being informed by a disciple, they all came. After a while, this guy is finally willing to climb the cliff, Yin Beiji said emotionally. Today might be the day to witness a miracle. Yi Xiling was very confident in Night Sorrow. Soon Night Sorrow reached 7,000 meters. At this time Night Sorrow only had a little bit of energy left. Lifting the wine jug in his hand, he took 2 more sips. After taking a few deep breaths, Night Sorrow continued to charge upwards. 7,100 meters, 7,150 meters. Soon, Night Sorrow arrived at the legendary stairway of Danding Cliff. We've reached the stairway to heaven. How many years has it been since anyone from our Medicine Valley managed to step onto the stairway to heaven? Duan Lei said excitedly. This is just the beginning. Hua Yunpeng and the first elder appeared. They had just returned from outside. When they returned to the Medicine Valley, they noticed the hubbub of voices at Danding Cliff and came over. When they saw Hua Yunpeng and the first elder, all the members of Medicine Valley bowed to greet them. All right, quiet down. Hua Yunpeng waved his sleeves and said. Night Sorrow stood in front of the stairway to heaven. Withstanding the pressure, he tidied his robes and strode towards the front. At this moment the pressure was very great. However, it was nothing to Night Sorrow, who had a cultivation base at the 8th level of the Void Inquiry stage and a cultivation base at the mid-4th level of the Myriad Dao-seeking realm. Night Sorrow then walked forward confidently. The pressure he's enduring isn't great? Elder Su looked at Night Sorrow's back and asked with a surprised expression. It's not that the pressure isn't great. It's just that his endurance is very strong. He could reach over 7,000 meters when he just attained the Void Inquiry stage. His current strength is completely different from his previous strength. The current pressure doesn't affect him much. Hua Yunpeng said. 1,800 steps. Night Sorrow calculated the steps one by one. More and more disciples of the Medicine Valley came to the scenic viewing mountain. Among them there were also many senior disciples. These people all knew Night Sorrow. Shi Yunxiao, Shi Yunhai, Gu Lin Yu and the others had all come. Big brother, is this still the Night Sorrow who was at the same level as us in the past? Xuanhuan, who was already at the late core condensation realm, looked at Xianxia and asked. He's still the same person. However, his level is no longer something that we can understand. Xianxia said. Gu Lin Yu and the others also looked at each other. They knew that Night Sorrow was strong, but they did not expect that Night Sorrow had already become this strong. Night Sorrow walked forward leisurely. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of steps appeared behind Night Sorrow. Right at this moment, a strange change occurred out of nowhere. The shadow of a huge cauldron with 3 legs, 8 faces and 8 dragon heads appeared in the sky above Pil Ding Cliff. The shadow rotated at high speed and charged towards Night Sorrow along with the energy it carried. Sensing the rapid increase in the impact of the energy, Night Sorrow instantly activated the Void Attribute Defensive Chi Barrier. Then he activated the Oneness of Heaven and Man to prevent the energy of Pil Ding Cliff from hitting him. As Night Sorrow activated the Oneness of Heaven and Man, the energy coming from Pil Ding Cliff brushed past Night Sorrow's body and did not cause any impact on him. The Oneness of Heaven and Man. The Venerable Realm. It's done. The energy of Pil Ding Cliff can no longer stop him. Hua Yunping's eyes were fixed on Night Sorrow's figure. After activating the Oneness of Heaven and Man, Night Sorrow did not let the energy of Pil Ding Cliff reach him and continued moving forward. It should be said that he moved forward without any pressure. Soon, Night Sorrow was not far from the end of the stairway. When he was 300 steps away, something strange happened again. The shadow above Pil Ding Cliff moved and charged towards Night Sorrow. What is this 8-dragon cauldron trying to do? Hua Yunping's hair stood on end. The 8-dragon cauldron's action was not a test. It was an attack. Will Night Sorrow be in danger? Elder Su was a little anxious. At this moment, Night Sorrow did not hold back. He waved his right hand and the space-time pagoda appeared. He smashed it towards the 8-dragon cauldron's shadow. A violent vibration was heard. The 8-dragon cauldron's shadow was blocked by the space-time pagoda. The space-time pagoda was still pressing forward. Night Sorrow waved his left hand and flattened his fluttering robe. He continued moving forward because the space-time pagoda was suppressing the 8-dragon cauldron's shadow. If you're a spiritual treasure, then you should have the awareness of a spiritual treasure. You shouldn't do things you shouldn't do. With the space-time pagoda in front, Night Sorrow walked to the end of the stairway and arrived in front of a quaint cauldron. Your name is Night Sorrow. I've known about you for a long time. I didn't want to attack you. However, you have a spiritual treasure and a weapon spirit. You shouldn't have come near me. A childish voice was heard. I didn't think about that. I don't have any ill intentions. I just want to talk to you. The Medicine Valley has risen. I need your help. You can't just help me with my cultivation. Night Sorrow said. At the same time he put away the space-time pagoda. The 8-dragon cauldron no longer had any intention of attacking. The previous chapter. I've done what I can. I've been doing this all these years, the childish voice said. But that's not enough. The Medicine Valley needs to protect itself and fight. Is that why I need your help? Night Sorrow said. You mean to acknowledge me as your master? But after so many years, no one has appeared who I don't feel humiliated. I want to follow a hero who can run rampant in the world, not a mediocre person, the childish voice, which was the weapon spirit of the 8-dragon cauldron, said. We have 2 venerables in the Medicine Valley. Can't they do it? Night Sorrow said with a frown. The words of the 8-dragon cauldron's weapon spirit were a little hurtful.